Mauricio Mejia Live. Entertainment guru, Silicon Valley entrepreneur, author, and speaker. It's Mauricio Mejia Live. Bringing to you real people, real day-to-day life experiences, and real business opportunities. If you dare to step up. Do you have what it takes to take it to the next level and become who you are truly destined to become? Decide, commit, execute. Join the thousands of viewers around the world and become a part of the conversation. Mauricio Mejia Live.
Oh, yes. Check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2. How is everyone feeling today? Hello and welcome to the grand opening of California. We are now officially open, and I want to welcome everyone tonight. It is Mauricio Mejia Live, season number 2, episode number 19. And again, I want to thank everyone that's joining us. We do this every Wednesday, 6 p.m. on the West Coast, 9 p.m. on the East Coast, broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitch. That's right. We're broadcasting on 3 platforms. That's Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, live from our studios here in the heart of Silicon Valley in downtown San Jose. And so far, we've had the amazing pleasure of having some great entrepreneurs, business entrepreneurs. We've had some great real estate moguls in the development world, some political leaders, some stock advisors, some fitness and entertainment gurus. And every week we want to keep it fresh and exciting. So we always want to keep continuing to invite new and exciting guests. And tonight I have a very special guest and friend that we're going to be bringing on. But before that, we want to go into our hot topic. California is back. We are back now. We said it earlier. We are back. We are officially open. So California, get ready for us to set the tone for the rest of the country, because we know that we were the first country to shut down, and we're not the last one to open up. There's still other states, countries. We're our own country, our own mind. There are other states that haven't fully reopened yet, the way that we are. But again, let's play it safe. I'm not telling you to not wear your mask, but just, use it as another form of just making sure we don't fully spread all of our germs and our, they're still out there. They're still talking about the variants. Let's not let the media scare us, but let's just be more cautious now, and let's be more clean. After you use the restroom, make sure to wash your hands. Make sure that when you shake hands, you wash your hands. Just again, just step up your game. We don't want to ever go back to what we experienced in the last 15 months. My prediction is that we will never see something like this in our lifetime again. And we won't go into conspiracy theories or any other kind of theories, other than I'm very happy to be here. I'm very happy that we made it through. For those that experienced the COVID, I'm happy to know that you guys are alive, 1, and 2, your recovery and your health. Now it's just a matter of just staying healthy and really taking care of ourselves and our bodies. So with that said, California is back. We're open for business. We're ready to take it to the next level. Let's make it happen. And to all my friends and industry colleagues that made it through, congratulations, 1, for making it through. 2, you're reopening. I see all the promotions that were being promoted and advertised for this weekend. It seems like last night Taco Tuesdays was huge across the board, because it was Taco Tuesday on the opening of California, and then I'm seeing that there's promotions now for the we're back and all the good stuff. Guys, just make sure that you play it safe. Let's not go butt crazy. Continue to stay safe. And again, I'm very happy to see all my friends and colleagues and people that survived, that are reopening their doors. You will know that I will be stopping by to support, and I'm here to help and promote whichever way. So without further delay, I want to introduce my next guest that I'm excited, because I've known this gentleman for years. He was in the entertainment industry. At least when I met him, it was towards the tail end of it. He's a real estate investor. He's a colleague, an industry colleague, and I could say he's my friend. His name, he goes by the name of Joel Wyrick. He is the author of Developing a Wealthy Mindset and Healthy. I got his book here. I've read it. Not all of it. I haven't completed. I'd be lying to you if I told you that I did. But so far where I'm at in this book, it really has complemented. It has really resonated with the way that my mindset is as an entrepreneur and as when I started young, knowing what a poor mindset was like having, and then really being exposed to people with a wealthy mindset and a healthy mindset in business and entrepreneurship. Joel is he's a real estate broker. He's an investor, an educator, a mentor, and he began investing in real estate over 35 years ago. So imagine buying real estate 35 years ago, and now the value, the wealth, the wealth creation that was started back 35 years ago to where it's at today. If you follow the trends, we'll see that real estate has continued to move upwards, and it continues to move upwards every once in a while. Well, the real last time that I saw a dip was in 2008, 9, and 10, and I haven't seen any dips like that since. So without further delay, it's my pleasure and honor to bring on the show Joel Wyrick. Joel, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for taking time out of, I want to say your busy schedule, but you're like semi-retired, my brother.
I'm glad. Yes, that's. I'm now going down, and I'm okay with that.
Hey, no, you're going down collecting checks is the impression I get here, man.
Well, that might be some truth to that.
Joel, I don't know if you got to hear my introduction here, but before we go into the show, we got to meet each other back in, man, I moved out here to San Jose in 1996, 97. So either late 90s and early 2000s is when we got to meet, and I don't want to say you're known for many great things, but you got pegged, and you know where I'm going. You got pegged with the world famous Mardi Gras party in Silicon Valley, downtown San Jose. It was one of the most craziest lit parties that they grew, and it grew into something great, and then it just got too big for the city, and obviously it moved on. But Joel, share with us. You're rooted here, right? I mean, you've been in San Jose for many years. Tell us about you, and we'll dive right into why the book and the direction that you've gone after you left.
Let me remind you how we got here today.
Oh, by the way, thank you very much for coming to my birthday party, man. I really appreciate you coming. Thank you.
Let me tell you guys how this all happened. I called him 2 weeks ago, and I was like, Mauricio, I've been checking out your podcast, man. I like it. What kind of gear are you using? I'm thinking about getting some gear because I'm starting to get a little.
Hey, I'm turning red over here. You're embarrassing me now, man.
Yeah, I'm going to embarrass you even more.
I even got a little sweaty. I got on the hot seat now.
Dude, grab a big ass towel because you're going to need it. So I called him up 2 weeks ago, and I'm like going, hey, man, I like your show. I like your gear. You sound great. You look great. What are you using? Because I had zero gear. This is all like brand new for me. And I'm starting to get some traction on the book. So I'm starting to do more podcasts and things like that. Right. So I call up Mauricio and say, what are you using? He said, oh, I'm using this microphone, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, cool, man. Yeah, I'm starting to do more of these shows. Hint, and he's like, yeah, I'm using this, blah, blah, blah. And I said, what's been going on? He goes, man, everything's popping. He goes, but now that, that the economy's opening back up, I'm having a tougher time finding guests. And I'm like, oh, wow. But of course we're on the phone, so he can't see my face because I'm like going, what are these numbers? And he's just yeah. And I'm like, wow. I said, okay, so why Rick is that? I'm trying to put all these subliminal messages like, and he's still.
Hey, I'm telling you, he's like, my audience has dropped a little bit because people are now not staying at home, and I'm just rambling.
Yeah. And I'm sitting there going, oh man, yeah. And he goes, yeah. So I can't find any guests, or I haven't been able to get some that are available. And I'm like, really? Why Rick is that? So I'm sitting there going, planting all these seeds, and he's like, Joel, what are you doing in a couple of weeks? And I'm like, finally, he's asking me. He goes, I'm having a birthday party and I want to invite you. And I'm like, oh, great. So finally, I'm like, Mauricio, well, I'm available. And he's like, oh, okay. So what are you doing June 16th? And so that's why I'm here, folks. I swear everything was going right over his head. I'm dropping all these hints and it just, whatever.
True story. Sometimes,
so the party was great. Your space is great.
Thank you.
And I'm glad that somehow, some way I ended up on your show.
Yeah, no. Hey, all I gotta say is, Joel, with good spirit, man, thank you for making the time and and for reminding me the talent and what you have done. Your book, and literally your book sits on my desk right here next to my book, by the way.
Okay.
And it's like it's right in my face, and it's like, oh, hey, Joe, what do you? Because I have the entire from now till middle of July booked, and that was the only date I didn't have. Hey, I apologize.
Whatever.
Hey,
I'm glad that you finally got down to the W's, right?
Well,
you probably don't know anybody X, Y, or Z after W. So we got down to Wyrick, and it all worked out.
Alphabetical order. You were in there, but anyways, you're here tonight, and again, thank you, man. I really appreciate. I know that a couple of things. I want to say thank you very much, because back in 2014, when I ran for city council for downtown San Jose District 3, you were one of my supporters. So I don't forget. I appreciate. So thank you very much. I'm glad that in retrospect that I didn't win that race, because from that point on, I did get to meet a lot of great people.
Yeah.
And I got to build
experience.
It was an amazing experience to run, running for city council, to put yourself out there in the public, where you have no way of shielding yourself from anybody, anything or anyone, because you are 100% an open target.
Oh, yeah.
It was one of the best experiences, because it also got to teach me who I was. I don't want to say exposed, but it surfaced a lot of things about myself. And then it also surfaced a lot of people who your friends are, who your real friends are, and all the people that talked about supporting you. That once push comes to shove and the reality kicked in, it's where were they at, because it was like crickets. So
That's
again,
right.
no regrets.
You want to find out who your real friends are? Start asking them for money.
Right.
And all of a sudden, they're like roaches when the light switch comes on. They're gone.
and it's money for supporting, for campaigns, and it's
for a good cause. Yeah, it's not like you're just asking them for money and blowing it in the wind. But no, absolutely, yeah.
So definitely, I got to learn. It was a great experience. No school, no educational, nothing can give you that experience like actually doing it and being in the game of that. So anyhow, enough of that. Joe, tell us a little bit about yourself, your roots, and then let's talk about where you've moved and what you've done in the last couple decades here, with 35 years of real estate investment. This is not something that just happened overnight. So share with us and the audience that's watching from all around the world how you got started.
Okay, I'll start a little bit, but I'm gonna jump away from that, because that's really not why I'm here. But to your point, native San Jose, born in San Jose Hospital. It's no longer with us, right here on 14th in Santa Clara. Went to San Jose State. So literally, I have never left, and I'm 61 now. I have never left the city of San Jose for more than a month, ever. Wow. I vacation a lot, but I'm always back. In fact, I'm going to Puerto Vallarta right after this. So, nice. But I'm always back. I'm always back. You're right. So I've never really been at, do I know San Jose? You damn right. I know San Jose. I've been here long enough, more than most. And I'm economically attached, as well as emotionally and obviously physically attached, because I haven't left. Been an entrepreneur since the age 8. You haven't read that part in the book yet. So section 3 talks about me specifically.
Nice. Okay.
And I took that out of the other parts, because I'm kind of the guy that I don't want to be a jerk, but it's like, if you're teaching me something, give me the information. I don't necessarily need to know your history. Right.
Yes.
So I wrote the book with that in mind, of Joel reading it going, well, Joel, that's great. Yeah. I'd like to know what you did in kindergarten, but not really. So that's at the end. So, and it shows the progress and how I basically became who I am. And you see that my entrepreneurial roots started at the age of 8. And so real quick, the only reason why, I became a member of the 1%, basically, was not that I ever really wanted to make a lot of money. Not that I cared that much about wealth, but more the fear of being broke. And I remember in the early mid 60s, right around there, I'm walking downtown San Jose with my parents, and I saw a homeless man, right? And I was like, Dad, Mom, what's wrong with that guy? And back then, of course, we didn't call them homeless; we called them hobos. So so they were like, well, he's a hobo. And I was like, well, what's a hobo? And they said, well, he doesn't have a place to stay, and he struggles with trying to eat without any money. And I just remember, man, I was like flat out. I was like, I don't want to be a hobo.
Right.
So from there on, at basically age 5 or whatever I was like, I don't want to be a hobo. And then by the time I reached the age of 8 years old, I then immediately kicked into the ownership piece, always owning, trying to own things, accumulating wealth really by ownership, because that's really the best way to accumulate, or the only way to accumulate wealth is through ownership. Yeah. And that's reason why I came here today, because you and I, we have a bond that, we're black and brown. And I don't know if people of color understand that we are going broke. Statistically, we are going broke. And if anybody needs to access, I don't know if they can access you via emails. Yes, I can give you support articles and statistics that show that basically by the year 2053, the average median black household will be broke. By 2072, the average Latino, a median household, will be broke. The middle class is going away because of the end of pensions as we know it. And there's lots of factors, and but that could be an 8-hour show. But the fact is that we are going broke as a middle class, as a people, for sure. So what can we do to turn that around? And so that's kind of what I'm, here about, and to kind of discuss the wealthy mindset as that applies to people of color and of middle class, because again, whether you're white, black, or otherwise, if you're in the middle class, that's going away.
So let me ask, because here in the Silicon Valley, here in California, we're an anomaly. We're an anomaly, and in California, I said earlier, I just slipped out of me. It's almost like California is its own country. But when we define the lower, middle, and upper class, what is the measuring stick that defines who and where, who fits in that, and then how do you separate it from California? Because here in Silicon Valley, there's more millionaires and billionaires than anywhere per capita.
That's true.
Though that, out in the Mediterranean, in Monaco, that's where they say, well, that's where all the billionaires live and so forth. But focusing here, they say that per capita, we have more millionaires and billionaires in this area. Now, throughout California is a very wealthy state, yet you can see the disparity. You can see it really enhancing now with the homeless crisis that we're seeing now. I mean, I just got back from Oakland today. I was in actually Richmond, closing a big deal I shared with you earlier. Excited about that.
Very nice.
Converting it, we're developing 8 acres into 190 condos. And then driving through, I stopped Jack London Square, and then jumping on the freeway, I just saw it was crazy. I felt like it was in a movie, the underneath the bridges, just the amount of disparity and sadness and the it's just very depressing to see that. Now that to me that's poor, complete poor. And then there's the low income, and then there's the middle class, and then let's call it lower class, middle class, and then upper class. How do you define that? And how does the book and your mindset apply for across the United States? Because
good question. So the reason why I wrote the book, my primary reason is my daughter. Because I was fortunate enough to accumulate wealth, And for me, I have more than enough money, right?
Mhm.
But statistically speaking, these are facts. 70% of any child's inheritance, they will lose that money. 70% chance that they will lose all of that money, no matter what you give them. Even look at your lotto winners, right? People are winning Powerball 300 million, 500 million. Within 3 years, 70% of them are broke. How do you get that kind of money? So the problem is we just don't know how to manage our money. Our relationship with our it's like a bad relationship. It's an abusive relationship, and you're getting beat down by your money and everything else. And how do we change that relationship so that we have, a symbiotic relationship between us and our money? And that's what I address in the book, because I know that if I'm going to leave my daughter all of this money, it's great that I'm leaving her this money, but if I don't leave her the mindset or the skill set to be able to manage this money and or grow it, and that's a choice that she wants to do, but at least not lose it. If I don't give her those skill sets, it's all for naught. It's all for naught. So that's why I came up with the book. And, and again, I'm human just like everybody else. And it took my daughter 2 years, man. She just read the book. And I was like, I was like, baby, what do you think of the book? And she goes, oh yeah, it was okay. You don't have any questions? No.
No.
What? So I got some work to do as a father. I need to, but this is the book that every single one of you people out there need to read. And I'm not saying that just to make a buck. It ain't even about that. No. This is the mindset that you need, because one, if you are making money, then this is how you're going to hold on to it. And it basically justifies and backs up everything that you possibly thought, and probably adds things. So you're going to grow that way. Two, if you don't have money, this is going to change things real quick. Immediately, I mean, after you finish the book, immediately you will start to accumulate wealth.
Wow.
I guarantee it. And I'll take it a step further, that if you buy this book and you don't think that's the case, I will give you your money back. I mean, most people, you go to a bookstore, I know, I will give you your money back. Hell, if you go to the used bookstore right now and find one for 50 cents, I'll give you $30 for the damn book. Because that's how I truly believe that. I truly, and I know that everybody that's read this book, they go, Joel, you made it. It was so simple, and now I get it. And I basically just go through the principles. But we as the middle class, and I live in the middle class. I live in a middle class neighborhood. My lifestyle is middle class. I might be in the 1%, but I don't. Again, it's not about the money. I just didn't want to be broke or poor, and I didn't want to be a hobo. And now I have so much money that, and it's mailbox money. It's passive revenue streams. So I'm good. So in my heart and in my head, I'm good. And that's all that really matters. Again, as long as you're happy with your money situation, that's where you need to be. It's not a number. It's not a number at all.
So what defines a person you feel is a target market for this book?
It's anybody and everybody. And let me tell you why. One, it takes the poor. So I identify, poor, middle class, and wealthy, right? And I don't want to go upper, middle, or lower, because that already starts to create even another thing. So I say you're poor, broke, or unwealthy, you're in the middle class, or you're wealthy, right? Mm-hmm. So the number one thing, and there's this one page called the Wealthy Mindset Scale, which is in the book, is why the book began in the first place. I took the scale and expanded it and just basically backed up everything that's in the scale. But this one page literally just encompasses everything. But the bottom line is, when it comes to money, whether it's leaving your purse, your wallet, your bank account, whatever, when an expenditure goes, it can go in three places. And the poor, broke, and unwealthy, it's going for stuff. Right. All their money's going to stuff. Now, when I say that, there's good stuff and bad stuff. The bottom line is, if I have $100 bill and I go get a sandwich and it costs me $10, as soon as I put down that $100 bill and they give me my $90 and I eat it, where's my money? It's gone. So there's some stuff that if we don't buy, we die. Okay. So So I get it. We do have to spend, every one of us have to spend our money on some food and some water and maybe some clothes or what have you. And so there's stuff there, but also, alcohol, drugs, PlayStation 3s, video games. I can go over a bunch of stuff that you don't need.
Right.
Those are wants. And it's stuff that as soon as you pay for that TV set, as soon as you take it out store and plug it in, it's worthless. It really is. You're not going to get any money back on it. So unfortunately, probably 99.9% of the money that broke people, unwealthy, and poor people spend their money on is 99% of stuff. And they've got to change that and change that over to a middle class mindset if they want to start moving towards that. And the middle class, what they do is, which is again why the United States of America is the strongest country in the world, is because we have the strongest middle class. We have an unbelievable middle class, and the middle class they buy their stuff like we have to spend money on stuff, but they buy liabilities, right? Because the middle class loves to be seen and see, and so they buy liabilities. So they buy all their stuff or spend their money on stuff, and then they go, okay, I got a little bit of money. Let me get my Benz, let me get my Rolly, let me get my LV bag. Let me get my, my red bottoms. And when you think about it, if I say, man, I'm going to hop in my Benz with my Alfani, my Ferragamos, my Rolly, all I said was a bunch of brands.
Yeah.
I didn't say I'm going to get in my car and I'm wearing some clothes and I got a watch on. So as soon as we start talking about branding and and the biggest consumers, which is the middle class, the wealthy's only wealthy because why? Because the middle class buy the wealthy's crap.
Hey, I'm wearing my white T-shirt, my blue jeans.
That's right.
I do got a watch and a bracelet and everybody. Hey,
so as I said, is that but I mean that's really what it comes down to. The middle class buy liabilities. They buy boats. They want to be seen, and they like showing off their money. You see it.
Let me ask you: do you think that that's part though? I mean, a lot marketing and the media there's
no question about it.
They're so powerful. I mean, the persuasion, they got it down to a science now. That how do you change that mindset? I mean, it's not just reading a book, but it's an upbringing.
I would argue that yes, it is reading the book, because once you realize that that's what you're purchasing your money, because we're basically calling it out right now.
Yeah,
I'm going okay. Now, and again, I'm not saying don't do those things. I'm only saying have a conversation and know that you are doing those things.
Correct.
Right?
Become aware.
Yeah. I own a Tesla. I spent too much money on a car. I needed a car. I didn't need a Tesla. Right?
But a Tesla's cool.
Understood.
Right?
But I'm just saying there are times that there's moments in our life or even during our day that we're going to make poor, broke, unwealthy decisions, middle class decisions, and wealthy decisions. And really what it comes down to is that the middle class make poor, broke, and middle class decisions. They never make wealthy decisions. And so the third piece is you've got to invest. You've got to grow your money. You've got to take whatever you make. And I know I got buddies I got one guy a doctor grad from Stanford, makes $500,000 a year and is broke because he spends $500,000 in one. He's got a great lifestyle. He's got a badass car. He's got a nice house. So he has a little bit of net worth because his value is in his house. But other than his house, he's got nothing. But again, so
it's crazy, I know people like that too.
There's tons of us, man.
I was guilty of that back into in my peak in my entertainment industry.
Yeah.
I mean, I was printing money in 2004 when I opened up the vault.
Yep.
For 2004, 5, 6, and 7, I was just printing money,
So,
and I thought it was forever.
To your point, the marketing and everything is our world. Turn on the TV set, and every commercial is geared to the middle class, getting you to, instead of just buying a car and spending whatever on a car, buying a Jag, buying a Mercedes, buying a Porsche, buying a Maserati, buying a Bentley, whatever. Again, see, I'm making I'm not even saying car.
Right.
I'm saying a name, a brand. You're paying all that extra for the brand. My daughter and I, this was a while back, and we're going where she comes over the house and we're ready to go somewhere, and she stops me dead cold and goes, "Dad, I know you're not going outside with those shoes on with me." Flat out. And I was like,
"Hey, you got flavor, bro. I'm like, you dress well."
No. But to her point,
right.
I had some $20 Kirklands on. I said, I paid $19.99 plus tax for these bad boys. I said, honey, look, I need shoes. That's all I need.
Yeah.
I said, now, the reason why you have $150 Nikes is because I'm wearing $20 Kirklands.
Ooh.
Only one of us get to wear the Nikes.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, who's it going to be? And she's like, okay, fine, Dad, let's go. So we can leave out of the house, but she's got that middle-class mindset, and I'm working on breaking it, and she'll get there eventually. I'm not sure, but those are the things that we're up against. So the final one, right, the poor, broke, and unwealthy spend their money on stuff. The middle class buy liabilities. Oh man, check out my timeshare. Check out my new boat. Check out my new car. Check out my new duds. Whatever. It's show. Look at me. I look at you, and let's start judging, right? And then the wealthy people take some of that money and they put it into something that's going to grow, whether that's crypto, whether that's real estate, whether that's Cabbage Patch dolls. I don't care what you spend your money on. And that's the thing about the book. Even though I made my money in real estate, I talk about it that much because it's the mindset. As long as you invest, I'll tell you, the best investment I ever made was at the age 12 when I bought a 20-cent copy of the first edition of Luke Cage. And again, as a young black child, I was just blown away that, wait a minute, we have our own comic book. I've been reading Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, and nothing, and love them all, Hulk, but it was white, and Hulk was green, and so Luke Cage, here comes this black guy that's got his own, because Black Panther was also a member of the Avengers, but he didn't have his own comic book. Luke Cage was the first. So I paid 20 cents over at Bob Sidebottoms on San Fernando, where Twice Read Books and your Chacho's was at. Right?
Okay.
There's a comic book store right in that same place. So anyway, 20 cents. That thing is worth $400 now, which means it increased 2,000 times.
Wow.
So had I bought $100,000 worth of Luke Cage comic books, is that 200 million? Now that's too many zeros for me. Yeah, I think it is. If I had spent a $100,000 investment, would have made me $200 million. That's the best investment I've ever made, was that damn comic book. And I still have that to this day, but so the third one again is growing money, investing it in something, owning things so that you are increasing your net worth. Because and again, when it comes down to the three, you're either blowing your money. That's what, on stuff that just showing your money, showing off, or growing. And again, when you think about it, there's only 3 times. Every time you open up your wallet, you're blowing, showing, or growing.
Powerful. We have
and now that I said that, I swear everybody could look at their situation and go, okay, wow, yep, blow, show, blow, show. I didn't grow anything. So then you just say, okay, I'm going to set aside some money and start growing it. And then it changes. And the book basically gives you a step-by-step process on how to do that. But you don't even have to buy the book, because just right there, once you change that and start putting money towards growth and, growing versus showing or blowing, you're good. You're good.
Yeah. And right now, everything you're saying is so resonating with me right now, because I definitely, the last, since 2014, I think 2008, 9, and 10 were really rough. And then 10, 11, 12, we're kind of like a rebuild. And then 13, 14, where I launched. And it's almost like I'm repeating that now as, going through 2019 and then 2020. Last 2 years have been crazy. But in the last 2 years, and really the last year that we had to shut ourselves down from the world and quiet all that crazy noise and really just compress our time, I've really reset my mind, recalibrated myself. And I've seen a different me come out of this. I published my book, Decide, Commit, Execute, which is, I call it, it's a quick reference book, an entrepreneurship book, where it just talks about my mindset. And I got to get you a copy of that one. But again, it's just, it really boils down to mindset. and really what you've defined for me is really the growth. And you're right. We're either blowing our money, we're showing our money, or and we really don't think about the growing. And for me, I really think about that, like, wow, this and I've really surrounded myself with some great people. I got some great partners that I'm working with. I got a good teammate where we're doing some investments together. I'm really sharing some of the things that I want to work with, and utilizing the capital that I might not have right now, but because I have the insight on different investment opportunities, the wealth, the growth, and the wealth that will come out of it with time is exponential. And that's the key word, is exponential, because all it takes is like the bamboo story. You know, you water the bamboo seed for 5 years.
Right.
Then as soon as it breaks out of the ground, it grows 90 feet. Now,
that's right.
Did it grow in 5 years, or did it grow in 90 days? And really, it took 5 years for that thing to break out of the. So it takes time, and then that's when you go through the exponential growth. So a lot of the things that I'm setting myself up for now are for that, so that I can diversify that income that comes in, that profit, that net profit that comes out of my investments. I mean, you know, I talk about these very exciting opportunities, these real estate deals. The reason why we find real estate as an exciting one is because in 5 years, from the day we buy it, in 5 years, that thing is exponentially grown. It may be not to a very quick, but it has an exponential from a beginning to end. And of course, you also still have to do your homework, and you have to understand what you're buying, and that you're buying at the right price, because you can also invest in real estate and go completely upside down. Just because of the way, you know, markets shift and so forth. Just like stocks, you can buy high, and then next thing you know, the shit crashes, and then you're upside down. So it's about educating ourselves, and then again having that stomach, you know, that having that intuition, that gut feeling, and then also being able to weather those kind of storms. Because
I tell people, and that's absolutely, I tell people, then only invest in things that you have a passion for.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm like, why invest? If you don't like real estate, then don't invest in real estate. It's okay. Because if you have a passion for it, guess what? To your point, I'm going to do my due diligence, because I have already an affinity or an attraction, a passion for that, whatever that is. Right. So I always tell that, just like in the book, I say, before you investigate. So do your due diligence, right? And that's in there. But case in point, it's funny that you said that, because I use this example when people go, well, Joel, you know, yeah, it's great. You know, you got to have money to make money. And I'm like, no. I said, first of all, who says it has to be your money? Is it right? You know, if you've got the idea or you got the deal, then you go out and get the money. People will pay to be involved with that. And so, but I look at it and say, okay. And here's a sad statistic, man. And we were talking about measuring wealth versus California versus Mississippi. Yes. It really comes down to the lifestyle. We don't need to go into the numbers, you know, but and for middle class, the bulk of their net worth in general is in their home. And that's why it's alarming right now to know that African Americans are now below pre-civil rights, they're at 19 with the equivalency of 1935. We're down to 40% of all Black folks own their own home. That's it. And that's before civil rights. We're digressing, right? Latinos,
it's the mindset, man. It's what we're being exposed to. It's
right. No, it's no
flash,
doubt about it.
It's bling. It's fucking.
That's right. It's a show.
It's a show, and then it's a different mindset, because we're also looking for a different lifestyle, and what we watch on TV, we think is reality. And you know, again, we look at professional athletes. You know, we look at people, and professional athletes can be across the board for all races and all, because it's once you become that star, and you're exposed to exponential wealth. Because you get paid big dollars. Well,
again, you know, people will watch the Keeping Up with the Kardashians or Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous 1,000 times more than they're watching your show. What's the bottom line is they're going to make more money watching your show than watching that. All that is a pipe dream of if you're going, wow, I wish I was there, and you're watching it every week and you're tuning in. Okay, so there lies the problem. But what I was saying is that it starts with home ownership. So for our communities and the middle class in general, again, doesn't make a difference what color you are, what ethnicity you are. We have got to start owning our own home, because that's where the bulk of the middle class net worth is. So once we do that, we're on the right scale. Now, the other part is that we get, to your point again, we get too caught up in the dress for success, the education, and even how much money you make, because it's not about how much money you make.
That's right.
It's about how much money you keep, and more importantly, what you do with the money you keep. Because again, I make $500,000 a year, but if I'm not taking any of that money and putting in the growth category, and I'm only staying in the show and blow, I'm broke.
Yeah.
I'm broke, and
Absolutely.
I have nothing to give to my kids as a father. Yeah, I will put parents on blast right now. If you are not educating your kids about the wealthy mindset and teaching them that, well, first of all, I guess you got to learn it yourself, but more importantly, they need to know it, because it's this generation of stupidity when it comes to money, and bad relationships when it comes to money. So that's kind of where it's at. So if you take that, if you take the home ownership, and I think as we move forward, when you want to answer your question about how do you show, you have to base your financial success on your net worth. And we don't do that. We go, well, I got a master's degree and I make $300,000 a year, I'm a success. No, measure it based on your net worth. And all of a sudden you start looking at it going, well, okay, I make this amount of money and I got this degree, and I'm like, okay, if you sell off all of the stuff that you own, how much money do you have left? That's your net worth.
That's right.
And
people don't understand the basics. They don't.
No. So again, as we move forward, and people watching this show right now, is that if you from here on out start making money decisions based on increasing your net worth, you are creating wealth.
Yeah. Because
you're growing money. That's just another way of me saying grow money and stop blowing and showing.
I'm gonna share something with you, and I've shared this with my audience in the past. Is we run a parallel. You started at 8, I started at 15, so you got 7 years advanced than me.
And I'm 15 years older, so that makes me. So I'm way ahead of you. You may never catch up to me.
Oh man, hey, all I need is I was sharing today with one of my boys. All I need is one big deal. Like I'm my company right now. We're in the 34 weeks that I've started this new company, CalX. We broke $1 million, because I had the ingredients. But I've always been into the development and real estate development, and all I need is that one. It could be that one big deal that can make you, or it can also break you. But that's the risk. That's the risk that I like to take, and I have that stomach for it. I have that grind, and I'm also surrounded by other powerful players that can get it. Going to your point, starting at a young age, I grew up in a poor environment. My mother was a single mom. I had a younger sister. So my mother, all she did was work to make sure that we had a roof over our head and food on the table to eat. And there was moments that to this day I still remember, and it makes me emotional. But there was times where I went to bed hungry because we didn't have enough. And I remember that at a young age, I realized going where I just said, this is not my life. And I had a gentleman out of Inglewood, and God bless his soul for being out there, because he's the one that turned on the on switch. I mean, and believe it or not, he was an African-American gentleman, very well spoken. People have a perception that Inglewood was the hood, but in Inglewood, actually, Inglewood is it was a very prominent area back in the days for African-American communities. People don't know that. But the gentleman, one day, he saw me out on the street. It was at a 7-Eleven. I was hustling stickers just to make some money. And he came up to me and he said, boy, he goes, you have an entrepreneurial spirit. And I was like, sir, what's an entrepreneurial spirit? And that's when I asked the question, that is when he turned on the switch in my mind. The mindset was then planted. The gentleman, very well spoken, very, very well dressed. And he said, son, he goes, continue doing what you're doing. And he goes, you will be a very successful man in the future. Now, I realized that, oh man, like this guy was onto something. He saw something in me that nobody else had saw or even called out at me. And that's what turned on one, the switch in my mind. Two was, growing up in an apartment, a 1-bedroom apartment where we had to share, the bed with my mom and my sister. I mean, and imagine going home at night and turning on the lights and the fucking kitchen is infested with cockroaches. And just, so those traumas are what was the fuel, the rocket fuel that came into me and said, I will never, ever be homeless or or go to bed hungry or live the way without. I mean, I used to wear Pro Wings, man. Go talk about Payless shoes, man. I was embarrassed to go to my school, like when we had back to school. Right. I'd white out the Pro Wing or unstitch it. Like, that's how clever I had to get so that I'd walk in and at least have new shoes. But
I had no shame in my game. I'd wear those bad boys proud, and knowing that I got $500 in the bank. It's just at the age 12. I was fine. I had no problem with that.
As I've gotten older, I've simplified my life. I've had the honors of meeting some great people, and I've seen them. You follow. It's not rocket science. You're not reinventing. Hey, simple white. For me, it's a white T-shirt, either black V-neck or white T-shirt, blue jeans, basic shoes. They don't have to be labels. I'm cool. I don't mind. Hey, I don't mind buying my socks from Marshalls and underwear from Marshalls. I'm cool.
That's right.
I'm about saving. I don't need to wear the crazy. The point is that I know how to save, and I'd rather invest my money in some real estate, which I'm very passionate for, or in others. And if I don't have, I surround myself by other people that potentially don't have access to the investment opportunities, and I bring them on as partners, investment partners. And I make it so that it's fair, so that it's a win-win situation, because you never want it to be lopsided, because then when we deal with that, it's just not fair. It's not in my mindset, and it's just something that it keeps the playing field equal, and we move forward. I'm always a big believer too. First in, first out. When you bring an investor's dollar into an opportunity, the first thing you want to make sure is that all that money is paid back as quickly as possible. At the same time, taking care of the operators, because the operators are the workhorses that are making things happen. And while you take care of them, and then you knock out that investment, boom, right away. I mean, I did it again. I use the vault as a perfect example. I raised $1.2 million, and within 8 months, let's say 10 months, I'll give myself an extra 2 months. In 10 months, I paid all that money back in cash.
Nice.
And that was because, again, it was a different time. It was a different opportunity, and we were printing money literally, and we were able to pay back that investment. And then from that point on, I thought it was forever. Yes, it's forever. And then, of course,
you get caught up. Yeah. I mean, especially in the nightclub business. I mean, you both of us come through that. But again, mine was more, because I loved music like you do, right? So my passion, I came from the DJ, and how, again, I had a wealthy mindset, so I was able to process. And here I am. I love music. I want to DJ, and I come of age where I'm starting to DJ and doing some of the clubs and everything like that. And I'm not getting any gigs. I've got my little DB Cooper, and the only night that I spent at DB Cooper's was during male stripper night. Rick, BB Hayes, Chris Campos, Reggie, Joe Cunningham, they had Friday and Saturday on lock, and there were better DJs than me. So the bottom line is, I was a good DJ. It wasn't great. I've never been great at anything. So, and I knew that. So,
hey, you're great at making money, sucker. Don't be. Hey, no, man.
Okay. Well, okay.
I love having a conversation with you, because you know what? I always say I love to surround myself with others that can challenge my mindset and challenge my business and my work ethic. And that's something that we both have. We both love. Well, you're not working as hard anymore, because
I'm not.
You're working a lot smarter. Which I said to you earlier. I want to get to where you're at, but I'm not there yet. You are 15 years ahead of me.
And your number may be different, Mauricio. See, again, as I tell people, when it comes to wealth, it's about your wealth. Stop looking at keeping up with, and again, the show and, going to the big party, going to Mauricio's birthday party and comparing yourself to everybody that's in there.
Did you see the Ferraris? Hey, those were my friends' cars. I was like,
I walked out to my car and I started keying it. I'm keying my own car because I'm pissed off that everybody's got a better car than I got. So what I'm saying is that if you get caught up in that, you don't. Yeah. And so what does I say? So as a DJ, I realized very quickly, again, it's not smart. It was pure common sense. If I'm not getting the job on Friday and Saturday, that's the job I want, then the only way that I'm going to get the DJ job that I want is to become a promoter. And that's really what had happened. Then I started promoting because guess what? If I'm the promoter, the producer, and I'm just deciding on who's the DJ, well, who the hell do you think the DJ is going to be? I put myself in position to make me the head DJ, the resident DJ, right? And then what had happened is, as you know this, and you fell into the same thing. We're successful promoters, but we're always now at the mercy of the club owner going, hey man, can I get this night? No, man, I got this. And you built up my Friday night so good. I'm going to kick you out and people are going to continue to come to my club and I'm going to make money off of all your efforts. And then it was like, oh, damn. Well, guess what? I now have to be the club owner so I can control who the promoters are going to be and who the DJs are going to be.
That's right.
And then what happened after that? It was like, I'm in Los Gatos, successful, printing money for a living. Yeah. And all of a sudden, this guy buys the entire developer and says, well, we're going to get rid of Waves and we're going to build B. Dalton Bookstore and we're going to do this and we're going to move steamers across the street. And they're these great, grandiose development. And Joel, you're not in the mix. But wait a minute. I'm going, I pay my rent on time. I'm a good tenant. And then I realized Joel, remember, you didn't get the DJ job. So what did you have to do? You had to become a promoter and make yourself the DJ. You no longer get to call the shots on the promoter because the nightclub owners you're at the mercy of when they're going to let you use their facility or the Moosehead Lodge or whatever you're moving, your promotion's going to be at. You're always having to answer to somebody. So then what do you do again? Then you buy the nightclub. Now you're losing your lease. What do you got to do now? Well, I got to buy the freaking building so I can't get kicked out. And that's exactly what had happened. So I really can't truly credit myself for being that smart. It was always being reactionary based on people telling me what I can't do. Yes, and again, the poor, broken, unwealthy mindset, and it's in the book too, and it goes into, they buy, they spend their money on stuff. But one of also the 10 characteristics that I say is they always say, I can't, followed by an excuse. Where the wealthy people go, I will find a way. And I've always been that guy. Yes. So I was like, okay, I'll find a way to be the head DJ. I'll find a way to own a nightclub. You know what? I guess I got to find a way to buy it. And so I ended up buying real estate, especially commercial. I was always in the residential thing because why? Because that's what our parents taught us to, which again is another misnomer. Yes. Does it make money? Yes, but it doesn't make commercial money because they don't want us to know those secrets. The wealthy people go, hey, we're wealthy for a reason. There's only so much of this pie that's out there, and we're not going to let people know the secret because if they become wealthy, that means they had to take some money from somebody.
That's right.
I mean, right now, I don't know if you knew this, and this is in the book. In 2007, the 1% controlled 35% of the America's wealth or the world's wealth. Now they control 40%. Well, where do you think they got that extra 5% from? And that's a lot. They got it from the middle class. You got to take it from somebody in order to get it.
Yeah, the poor don't have it. So
the poor don't have it, right?
You can't take it from them. So the only healthy next group is the middle class.
That's right. It's always the middle class. The middle class is the economic engine. It's not big business that makes our economy in San Jose roll or anywhere else in the world. It's always the middle. It's the small business owner that makes everything happen. It's the small business that pays all the taxes, that hires most of the people. All of us. We just saw Donald Trump doesn't pay any taxes, and I'll be honest with you, I don't either. I don't either. And again, I'm not bragging, but I want people to see. And when I say this, I'm only giving you this information because I want the truth. The bottom line. Let me just share with this. I made $400,000, and I paid $9 to the feds and $0 to the state. Okay, that's criminal. But but as I say in the book, poor people don't pay taxes. The middle class pay taxes. The wealthy pay attention to tax laws.
Right.
And I pay attention to tax laws, and I don't pay taxes because I look at the tax laws, or in my case, my dumb ass, because I can't even do that. I pay someone to pay attention to tax laws. And he goes, Joel, I'm going to move this, and you're not going to pay any taxes.
I need your accountant, by the way.
I got a great CPA.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. With that said, though, but I don't want to discredit. Let's not make it criminal or a villain. That if you don't pay taxes, there are different ways. We're circulating money and other opportunities. We're creating opportunities, and there's got to be. There is. I mean,
again, and you know what? We are anomalies. Okay, so first of all, we are anomalies, right? We're black and brown, so people assume that we're liberal because we're of color, right? Okay. But we're businessmen.
Yes.
So absolutely. And people all the time, it's funny, when I ran for office, and I don't want to get into all that stuff, the only reason why I didn't win is because the Republicans thought I was a Democrat, and the Democrats thought I was Republican. Yeah. The Republicans are going, he's black, he's pro-union, he's a minority, no. And the Democrats going, he's a freaking multimillionaire. He ain't one of us either. So they both kicked me to the curb, but they were both everybody's second choice. Joel, you know what? If my guy Sam Liccardo doesn't get in, you're my vote, because I know you're a businessman. You understand the game. And then my union people going, Joel, we got to go with Manny Diaz, because he, but if Manny don't get in, you're our guy because you understand the struggle. And I was like, damn, I'm in a catch-22 here. And again, and if we had San Francisco, because San Francisco, you pick first, second, and third. Mm-hmm. That's how they determine who their council members. Everybody would either pick Manny or Sam. Everybody picked Joel as their second pick because he was just a nice even keel guy. And then your third pick would have been either Sam or Manny. I would have won the election on that. So, but again, that's the problem that we have. So no, I do believe we should be paying more taxes. I know I should be, but I am not going to pay taxes until they tell me I have to. Yeah. That's just the bottom line. I don't, if Jeff Bezos didn't pay any taxes, I'm not mad at him. Well, then you need to change the tax laws so that he does have to pay his fair share, because the middle class, they are paying way too much tax they're paying all the taxes. Let's not even say way too much. They're paying all the taxes, and the wealthy, the 1%, are not paying any. But so let me paint this picture to
because we can have an 8-hour conversation just on that. And but I also want to just make a note that I don't want it. Look, man, you're right. The wealthy should pay a fair share of taxes, so that the burden doesn't go so hard on the middle class, and obviously then it trickles down. But there's got to be a reform. That and I hope that. Well, I'm hoping. Well, that's even the wrong wrong thought process there. It's one of those that like. How and when will that happen? When we're always conflicting, and when we're always conflicting, I think that the only thing that we can do is continue to work harder and hope. And I don't like the word hope, because to me sometimes it's false. But we gotta hope, because we gotta continue to put fuel in our engine, that we get that break in that moment. Again, I'm one deal away from either making it big or fucking losing it all. But I'm gonna give it all, because we're only here on this planet once.
That's right.
And that's the bottom line. The bottom line is I gotta give it all you got. I gotta give it gas and go full pedal to the metal. So I just, again, I'm and if I get to that level, hey, my contributions to my community, to the communities, I give in different ways. Do I give back to other causes? Absolutely, 100%. I'm a big believer in it. If I have more, I want to give more, but at the same time, I got to make sure that I can set myself up so that There's
no question you have to do that. Again, we're on the same page. I just said that, but it's interesting being of color. Two people of color. We've got this where we were grown up with. We're supposed to be liberal. We're supposed to be Democrats. We're supposed to be and you know what? No, that's not, it's, and again, and then when they look at, your success, you must no longer be down with your people. No, that's not true either. So it's been kind of weird, me growing up. So anyway, I wanted to go regress back, regress back, because I wanted to, everybody that's watching this, show the difference between blowing, showing, and growing, and how important it is to grow money, invest money, because when you invest, to your point about the bamboo, is that it starts off, you look at it and go, it's nothing. And then all of a sudden it becomes not only something, but big something. And you've seen that one thing, that penny a day, right? You remember that one? Like if you had a penny a day for 30 days and people go, if I offered you $1 million, and I fell right into it. This guy goes, if I offer you, Joel, a penny a day doubled for 30 days or $1 million, what would you take? And I went, okay, so wait a minute. You're telling me day one, a penny? Yep. So day 2, 2 cents. Yep. Day 3, 4 cents. Yep. Day 4, 8 cents. Yep. Day 5, 16 cents. Yeah. 7 is 32. 8 is 64. 9 is 120. I'm sitting there going, I'm on my 9th day and I'm only got $1.28. Give me the $1 million. Well, folks, if you double that penny every day at day 30, it's over $5 million. And people just go, wait, what? And again, so if anybody writes you, I'm going to send them the sheet where they see it and they go, wait a minute, what?
Hey, you need to send me that. You need to send me that.
I will.
Please. I want to post that, man. I definitely want to post that.
It's so true. So let's look at a real life situation. And I do this in some of my workshops too. And here's another sad statistic, because we're so wrapped up in showing. Part of the education system, why it's so screwed up, is that it's part of the show. That people are bragging that, oh, I'm a graduate of San Jose State, or I got my master's degree or my PhD. Folks, that has nothing to do with your net worth. Because again, wealth is defined by what your net worth is. So that's great. You got a piece of paper on the wall, but think about the amount of money that you paid for that picture. Right. So if I dropped out of high school, 17 years old, I don't even get my GED. I don't even get my GED. I go to work at In-N-Out Burger, and I literally was right there today. They're paying $20 an hour at In-N-Out Burger. Okay. So my junior year is my last year of school. I make $20 an hour, which is $800 a week, right? Let's say I take 2 weeks out of the year. I only work 50 weeks. So I make $40,000 a year working at In-N-Out Burger. And I had this conversation with my daughter, because we were arguing about the importance of school. And I said, girl, school means nothing. He said, well, Dad, I can't believe, what kind of parent are you? School, blah, blah, blah. I said, first of all, honey, you got to remember, you're a multimillionaire. I'm not married. I have one child. You're it. You are going to inherit millions and millions of dollars. So why do people go to school? They go to school for status. Oh, I got my my bachelor's. They go to school for a better job or higher pay. Well, guess what? Those 3 reasons why everybody goes to school, none of those apply to you. And let's do the math. So the In-N-Out Burger guy makes $40,000 a year. So his senior year in high school, he didn't go. He made $40,000. You're still in high school. You made none. Then you go to school. You should go in San Luis Obispo, $30,000 a year. So you got 4 years at $120,000 negative. You paid $30,000 to the man to be what? A better slave? And a 21st century slave is an employee. That's all that is. So you're going to school paying money over $100,000 to be a better slave. Okay, so the guy on fries, he's 18. He made $40,000 while you're paying $120,000 at $30,000 a year times 4 is 120. He made another $40,000 a year because they're not giving him a raise. He's worthless. He's on fries, right?
He's on fries.
But that's 5 years on fries.
That's right.
That's $200,000. So when you graduate in 22 and you're bragging to your friends, I just graduated from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. You're negative 120. He's positive 200,000. You are already
and that's with the mindset that he's not spending it, and
that's right. That's right. We're not talking. We're just talking pure numbers here, folks.
Got it.
Pure numbers. You know.
I just want to make sure that we're going apples for apples here.
That's right. That's right. Exactly. So when you graduate, you go, well, Dad, I'm going to make more money when I graduate. Okay, I get that. How much more money do you think what's the average rate? Oh, 60,000. You know, for a person graduated from college, 60,000. Okay, so you're making 50% more than the guy on fries. How many years is it going to take you to catch up to the guy on fries if he continues to make his $40,000 a year? And she's like, I'm like, see, that's the problem.
In 10 years, he's already at 400 grand.
So the bottom line, if you're making $20,000 more, right? 60,000 versus his 20, you're doing 50%. So to get to 320,000 because you're behind the 8 ball because he's accumulated 200 while you lost 120. So $20,000 more a year you're making. 20,000 times 16 years is 320. Well, girl, you're going to be 38 years old before you break even with the guy on fries.
Yeah.
Before you fricking break even with the guy on fries. So meantime, you're paying off debt. You didn't buy a house. You couldn't accumulate wealth because you were too busy paying off debt to try and get up to that. The guy on fries could have already been buying a house because he's already started positive. He never did accumulate $120,000 in student loan debt. So let's take that a step further. That's the guy that just is on fries. To your point, if the guy on fries who's making 300, what's that? So
40,000 a year.
So he's making $320. Wait, what's that? He's making $3,200 a month, right?
Yeah,
right,
it's $40,000 a year.
Okay, right. Okay, so let's break down. Okay, so if he took 10% of his money, just 10% of his money, $80 every week, right? And what let's just say 4 weeks in a month, and we'll just say 4 weeks, give him a little vacation, blah, blah, blah. So $3,200 a month. If he just took 10% of that, $320 a month, and not put it in the bank, but invested it. Now, he's 17. By the time he reaches 65, and again, you're only talking $80 a week out of the guy on fries. He's not doing anything other than calling up Morgan Stanley, Merrill Lynch, calling up you, calling up me, and saying, "Hey, can I invest with you guys?" Whatever I don't care what your investment is. If you can get a 10% return on that annually, right? Okay, if you can do that, this is the difference between saving money and compound investing. So at the end of the year, if you pay that $80 plus at the end of the year, a week rather, $80 a week. So that puts him at what, 38, because the $320 a month that he's actually investing.
I'm gonna bust out the calculator here.
No. So $320 a week, a month rather, because $80 a week times 4 is 320, times 12 is 3,800. So $3,840 a year. If you took that $3,840 a year that he saved, right, and he put it in a bank account, multiply that. Oh, well, let's see. At the age 65, I did the calculation. So at the age of 65, he would have saved $184,000. So to you and I, or the college kid, they're going, wait a minute. So the poor guy started on fries. He never left fries. Nope. We're saying he never got a raise. He would have accumulated $184,000 if he would have saved the money and put it in the bank. And you do the calculations, it'll come out to that. Yeah. Now, he didn't do that. Unlike what our parents teach you, save your money, create a savings account. They're never teaching us how to grow. Had he given that money to somebody or an institution or whatever, and it's not that tough to do 10%. It's not easy, but it's not tough.
Right.
If he would have just taken the $80 and given it to Morgan Stanley every month, instead of putting it in his bank account, at the age 65, instead of the $184,000 that's what the number would be, he'd be at $3.8 million.
Yep.
He's a multi-millionaire, and the dude is on fries. Yeah. On fries. And that's what you said, the bamboo. That's when you plant the seed, and then all of a sudden, now what happens at 65? He gets to retire, and he's retiring not on a pension, not on a 401k. Because remember, he's doing 10% on his money. By the time he's at 65, he's at $3.8 million, which means what's 10% of $3.8 million every year? Because that's what it's growing.
Right.
Yeah, $380,000. The guy on fries retired at the age 65, making $380,000 a year. All because he had a wealthy mindset. And what I just told you right now, everybody that's watching this, you do the math and you're like going, Well, then, damn, Joel, I might as well quit and work for In-N-Out. Yeah, I just gave you. You can work for In-N-Out, get on fries, and you will be. I guarantee you will be a multimillionaire by the age 65.
And then
you have that money, and you continually make $380,000 until you die. And the beautiful thing about that, what happens when you die, Mauricio? Where does the money go? It doesn't go away.
Yeah,
because a pension. If I'm a cop and I make my work, and nothing again. I love the pension the cops have and public safety in general. My nephew, I'm so proud of him. But what happens? And if these guys retire, these cops and these firemen can make $200,000 a year, $150,000 a year. Beautiful life. But what happens when they die? It goes away.
Goes away.
Right. The guy on fries, when he dies, the $380,000 plus his $3.8 million in net worth, that cash is still sitting there. It's generating $380,000. Then it's like, oh, dad died. My dad never was much. He was just on fries. He never got up to supervisor. Never. Wait, I now make $380,000 for life. Yep. And guess what happens when your kids die? They make $380,000.
At that point, generational wealth, baby.
Generational wealth. Yeah. That is it in a nutshell. Folks, I tell you now, it is not a problem. Any idiot can become a multimillionaire as long as you apply the principles of my book. And it's so easy. It's that easy.
It's so it's simple, but it's not easy. So it's simple to make it. It's not easy to apply it. And
Mauricio, let me argue that. Let me argue that point.
But before
how hard is it to take your check from In-N-Out Burger and take the discipline of taking 10%? You tithe, half the people tithe and give it to their church anyway. So don't tell me it ain't easy. You take the 10%, you give it to Morgan Stanley. I'm not even saying you got to do the research. Yeah. And this isn't that I don't give any money to Morgan Stanley because I can grow my money faster because you and I can grow money faster than that. Yes. But again, it's that simple. You give it to them, they give you your 10% on it, and then you do it to 65, and you've got that. You tell me, how difficult is that? Really? It's not.
Yeah. Agreed. I'm going to say that I'm going to throw the X factor, because what happens here? Life kicks in, right? So everyone, again, it goes back to mindset. You're talking about a healthy, clean, linear mindset, and we're talking about all the different influences around the world. Kids get motivated to go work at a young age for what? They want the fucking badass car. They want the badass shoes. They want the badass clothes. They got to show it, right? So they're blowing it. They're showing it. They're not growing it. Right. So their motivation is very different. So I agree. I
totally agree. No, let me back up. Yeah. The reason why it's not simple, because no one adopted the mindset. No one has that kind of relationship with money. But now that you and I have just basically threw that out for the whole world to understand in very simplistic terms. Yes. Who didn't understand what we just said right now? The analogy I gave, the guy on fries, who can't relate to that?
Right.
And go, well, wait a minute. So the guy's making $40,000 a year and he's a multimillionaire. So if you're making six figures, there's no reason why you can't be in the 1% and get past the 10. There's none.
Absolutely. I'm always going to believe till the day I go into my grave or to the next world. I'm going to always find ways to always grow my money, my partner's money, my group's money, because there's always opportunity. It's the next thing about it is we have to continue to search and find and look for these, because these opportunities aren't going to come. Now, again, if you want to have the employee mindset and go have that job and you're disciplined in that way, then that person, the fry guy can do it at $40,000 a year. But for me, my appetite, and for you, your appetite is different. You said something that and I wanted to touch it. It's what our number is. I think that everyone needs to understand what is their number. What is it that they strive for? Now, I'm a very ambitious business person. I've been surrounded by some pretty big tycoons, titans. So I want to play.
When you talk, what you do, I know. I kid you not. When you talk, I get sleepy. I don't want to work that hard because my number is much different than yours, right? When I listen, I have to avoid you sometimes because I'm like, man, after listening to him, I need to take a shower. You know, I'm drenched. I don't want to work that hard. You know what? Yeah, again, my number is not my ambition. I was a DJ that just wanted a fucking job. You know, nobody would hire me. I wasn't good enough. I'm no Chris Campos, Bad Boy Jess. I could go on. Richard G, Albert Compoy. All those guys are taking my jobs. I just want to DJ, and because I wanted to DJ, I just found a way. And again, I don't know about their money or what their situation is, but probably I'm richer than all of them, probably combined. But that's not even, it's neither here nor there. It's just that's all I wanted. So, and now that I got that and I got my great record collection and I just listen to music, I'm cool. Yeah. I'm good.
And I like that. You know, I think that I would be, you know, actually, I don't want to even lie to myself. I can appreciate and I respect, Joel. I'm telling you, man, you fire me up because you actually add rocket fuel to my desire. Like I want to be like, hey, man, you're in a fucking great place, but I want to be in a greater place. Because
that's right, and I'm not mad at you. Absolutely,
and I'm not mad. Hey, man, I've been to your home a handful of times. Love your place. It's very homey. I could settle there and be like, but I know I'd be here and I'd be like, fuck, I don't have a view. I'm like, you know, I gotta, you know, just the excitement. So that's for me, my number is probably 100 times more than what your number is.
Probably.
You know, you know,
probably.
I've bragged to people and I say, you know, I want to be. Look, again, I've lived here. We're only here in this world, and I think that's part of my mindset and my trainings and what fires me up. And again, thank you for today. I believe that everything happens for a reason. Thank you for the call 2 weeks ago because you're here tonight for a reason. And
I had to play it to see. I had to give you the reason why, but that's okay.
No, and I want to say thank you because, you know, by the way, that, you know, for me, Friday, you know, celebrating my birthday, 45. I mean, it is a very I put the importance on it because to me it's a very transitional point of where I'm at in my life today, especially when I look back and I look back at 30 years of being of my entrepreneurship being planted at 15 to 45. It gives me that fire, that juice, that reflection of saying, fuck, 30 years, man, this is where I'm at. I could have been an employee, you know, and going to referencing school education. I barely graduated from high school. I had to bullshit the principal to let me even finish high school because I had turned 18 as a senior, so they wanted to send me to adult school. I was able to convince him. I had the gift of gab to say, hey, give me a chance, principal, you know, I'm going to do and I graduated, and then I got accepted to both San Francisco and San Jose State. But I wanted to be in the hospitality industry, but I didn't get into the hospitality program at San Francisco, and San Jose reminded me of Little LA. So I was like, I'm coming to Little LA. Right. And I did 4 years of university. On my fourth year, the year that I'm supposed to graduate, I dropped out. Literally the first 2 weeks of going to the class, I just realized I made a decision. I realized, fuck, I'm in debt. Point that you said, I'm in debt.
Hello.
I'm living at my fraternity house. I was living the first 2 years in the dorm off of loans and grants and all that bullshit, creating debt, right? Deferred debt. And then I realized I'm making money already because I was in the club business at a young age. I'm making money. This shit's not working for me. I'm driving an $80,000 car, living at the fraternity house. That's again. Right. I'm not growing my money. I'm blowing my money and showing my money.
That's right.
And I realized I'm like, fuck, this system doesn't work for me. The instructors that walked in, I'm looking at them again. I'm not making I'm not judging, but I'm like, yes, yeah, this is not going to work for me. I was full loaded. I had a full load of class, drop, and I made a decision from that point moving forward. Now, I'm not going to say it's not for everybody. School is for some. School wasn't for me. I'm not an advocate of don't go to school. Hey, go to school, learn, and then you'll find your path. you'll realize. But I also believe that the system is broken. It's part of the show.
It's broken. No, absolutely. It becomes part of the show. You nailed it. And I tell people, I said, hey, if you are going to school for a better job, higher pay, or status, you're going to school for the wrong reasons. If you're going to school to better yourself,
yes.
Now you got my vote.
Amen, man. Thank you for saying that, because that is a fact, and we are always learning. I'm learning continuously. Today, walking on a.
But be careful. I don't want you to spend $120,000 to better yourself. That's all.
Yeah.
And I told my daughter, I said, the bottom line is, no, I want you to go to school. Because again, it's not what you're learning in school, but the interaction, the social skills that you get, because you're dealing with so many different types of people and situations. The mere fact that somebody can tell you what to do, as in the institution, for 4 years, and you go, fine, I got to take this test, got to do this class, and blah, 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 and you can kick me around for 4 years, shows me you have the intestinal fortitude to do whatever the hell you want. Because if you can get a piece of paper, and to your point, went to San Jose State, and I got kicked out. Again, I'm an entrepreneur. I went to San Jose State to go to their business school. It's one of the top in the country, blah, 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 blah. You know what they told me? Dude, I got too many Fs. I got an F in quantitative business analysis and business statistics. They called me in and said, you don't have what it takes to be a businessman. You don't have the aptitude.
Rocket fuel, baby.
And they kicked me out of the school.
Yeah. Hey, I was an academic probation my entire career.
I stayed on it, And the only reason why I was going to San Jose State, because I was on a track and field scholarship, and they were paying for the whole thing. So it didn't cost me anything, and I was cool with that. But because I was now I can't run track, and I was getting paid, to run track. In essence, they're paying for my food, and again, it made sense for me, but I had to go and petition, and the ombudsman, who's like, yeah, man, I'm looking at your transcripts, and you know what? I noticed that your minor is radio, TV broadcasting.
Yes, I was a double major too.
And he goes,
radio, television, and film, and business marketing.
So he told me, he goes, if you flip, since you've already got enough units in business, if you flip your major business and your minor radio, TV, flip them, I'll let you back in school. Well, again, DJ was my whole life. I can DJ. Hell, my recording studio at my house was better than the one that they had in the RTVF department. So I went back to school and got a damn degree in DJing. That's all I am, is a glorified bachelor's degree in DJing. So again, anybody out there, whether you're on Fry's or a good DJ, but not good enough to be on Friday and Saturday, I don't care what your skill sets are. It is not about how much money you make. It has everything to do with what you do with that money that you make. Taking a little piece of it and investing it in something and growing money. Once you understand the concept of growth, and again, here's my book. Go to the website, WyrickRealEstateGroup.com. You can order it from there. You can go on Amazon and get the Kindle version or get the audio book if you want.
Right here.
If you do buy the physical book,
yes.
Again, I'm on air. I'm on tape, right?
Yeah.
If you buy the physical book and you say, Joel, nah, wasn't worth it, you send me the book back and your address, I will send you your $30 back, because I know it's golden.
You're old school when you say I'm on tape. Come on, man. Hey, so the website that we have for your book is developingawealthymindset.com. And I put that on our link. But
I don't think that might not be. I don't know if
that's what
we
go
have. Somewhere?
Yeah, I think so. If not, then
I don't think so. No, WyrickRealEstateGroup.com. Now you can go to the Facebook page. Let me back up. And the Developing a Wealthy Mindset Facebook page, and it probably would direct you to the Wyrick Real Estate Group. So you can order the book from there. Book Baby is my publisher. Again, I wasn't about to give Amazon, all 90% of my book for, again, just I have a wealthy mindset. That doesn't make any sense to me.
All right.
I drink my own Kool-Aid. I've always drank my own Kool-Aid.
There you go. Give me the website again. It's WyrickRealEstateGroup.com. Real estate, and then we'll make sure to put that link up. Real estate.
And again, but I think again, I want to stress is that minorities, where we're at now, folks. If you are a person of color, if you're not even a person of color, even if you're in the middle class, it is going away. The disparity between the have and have-nots is the furthest it's ever been. To your point, and you're right. I think you said you wanted to be a billionaire. And you know, and what's 100 times, you know, $10 million is $1 billion. So you're right. Here I'm sitting at 10 or $15 million and happy. And again, I sit at home, I can make $400,000 or $500,000 a year just proceeds from that stuff. And it never affects my money. I'm good because I will never spend more than I don't spend $150,000 a year. And you know, so
try it. It feels good.
Man, you know what? And you know what? And it's funny. If you've been hanging out with my girlfriend, she says the same thing.
You're taking me out for my birthday for a dinner, bro. I might be like, Joe,
we're going to a Dega or a Manresa, right? If it doesn't have a Michelin star behind it, I'm not interested.
No. Well, for you, if you're taking me there, great. I'm cool. No, I know. I'm not impressed by Michelin stars, but a nice steak, bro. A good nice steak.
So and again, and I tell people all the time is that I have a wealthy mindset, but I know that I'm going to spend money on stuff. I'm blowing money and I'm showing money. And as long as I manage the 3 categories appropriately, I'll be good. I spent $150,000 on a car. And to be honest with you, I like that new Roadster. If it's $250, fine. I might just get it. I probably will get it, to be honest with you. But I understand if I just a simple math, I'm going to make $1,000 a day passively for the rest of my life. Nice. More than that, but that's an easy number. So the bottom line is, as long as I don't spend $1,000, and I didn't spend $1,000 a day because I'm talking to you. I'm not spending any money. I'm talking to you. I did my little In-N-Out burger and got my protein style with no bread and whatever. Blah, blah. So I didn't spend maybe $20, but I still made $1,000 a day. I'm going to make $1,000 a day. So as long as I don't spend $1,000 a day, I'll always have money. That has nothing to do with the real money that I have that's invested, which is millions and millions of dollars. Yeah. So I just got to look at it and go, okay, $250,000. Okay, there goes 6 months. It's only 6 months. And I look at it and go, okay, I'm showing money. I got to sacrifice 6 months of my pay in order to do this. Can I do that? Yeah.
So let me ask you, what's your appetite? I mean, is it just real estate investment or
anything now? So I'm at the point now that any opportunity that presents itself, if I like it, I do it. Because if I got this, the $1,000 a day deal, right? Mm-hmm. I don't spend anywhere near that. All of a sudden, after 6 months, after a year, and again, I'm only saying it's not in a braggadocious way. It's just the way to. So,
hey man, we gotta talk about this kind of stuff. I mean, this is the shit that.
Well, no, that's right.
People don't hear about this.
No, that's right. That's the problem.
We need to share this. We need to share this.
You are absolutely right. As people of color, where it's like, well, that's none of your business. We don't mind showing a car and going and bragging about, well, I'm doing this and spent money on this. Yeah. And nobody's bragging about what they're doing with their money.
Yeah.
And that's what we should be bragging about, so that we're educating our brothers and sisters out there so that they can grow and come up with us. And there lies the problem. And again, as parents stop. It's none of my business what my kids, how much money I make or how much money in the bank. You know what? It's all their business to know that. Right. Because all of a sudden it's none of their business. It's none of their business. It's none of their business. And then they enter into the business world and their relationship with money is because they don't even know how to deal with it, because you never shared your knowledge, your relationship in and around money. You're setting up your children to fail. My daughter, I'm exposing her now. It's like, okay. And it was so funny because, we're having this adversarial thing, I know she loves me, but maybe not enough. I don't know. But the bottom line is, we have this adversarial. She's like, well, Dad, I can't stand real estate. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking, oh my God, it's not about that. Baby girl, let me tell you, this isn't about me pontificating about how marvelous and what a great dad that I am. It has everything to do with, if I die tomorrow, how to pick this thing up and go, okay, he showed me how to do that. He showed me where the money's coming in. The bottom line is, every month there's $40,000 hitting our bank account or our mailbox, right? You've got to know who's paying rent, who's increased their lease, who still owes, who's up, blah, 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 blah. You have to know all of that stuff, because if you don't, guess what? As soon as I die, half the people are going to stop writing checks and going, well, I'll let her figure this out. I'm going to be rent free, for the next 6 months. And you got to know all these things. So she has to have that education. Right. So if Dad dies, she can pick up the mantle and go forward on it. Because guess what? It's her money.
Right. It's the transition. We got to be prepared for those transitions. And, you know,
that is the major failure of parents, man.
I'm going to tell you something. I know there's a person that I know that has, set herself up very well, and she's got children that, you know, it's one of those things that, you want to leave wealth for them, and then, but that relationship is just not there with the children. And what happens, you know, when one, you need to have a very positive relationship with your children, because as you get older, they're the ones that are going to be taking care of you. You need to set it up so that there's the ability of not having to put the stress on them to take care of you. And if you set up that wealth, then it's not going that stress is not going to be transferred to them. So
and you don't want to put that on them, you know. And let me be honest with you. I don't know if my daughter would take care of me or not. And you know what? I don't expect her to. I'm the one that brought her in this world. It wasn't her choice. It was mine. But of course, I have a wealthy mindset, and I have enough money. Again, as long as I'm not spending $1,000 a day on daycare or elderly care or whatever, I'm good. You know, but going back to her, how I was able to break the ice, because she read the book and she was like, yeah, I was blown away. Everybody else calls me, it goes, Joel, it changed my life. I hear it all the time. Joel,
hey, I'm determined now. I am determined to finish this book.
I guarantee.
Yes.
And people go, it's such an easy read, man. Yes. I expected you to, because you're a business guy, an entrepreneur, you're going to say all this crap that I don't understand. But I basically break it down like the fries guy. It's like, oh, damn, that was so simple. Is that real? Crunch the numbers. And they're going, the fries guy can be a multimillionaire.
Yeah,
I'll be damned. You know, so I had to take it to her and said, okay, honey, look, we got our vacation home up there in Calaveras County. And it's, you know, I go maybe 20 days out of the year. You know, I'm of color, man. I don't mess around with the ski season stuff like that. This is next to Bear Valley. I don't mess around with that stuff. So if the weather's nice but not too hot, I go up there.
But are you renting it? Are you making money off of
it? I'm not. No. Because again, I already hit my number. If I swear, if I really needed to make an extra $500,000 a year, it'd only take me, time-wise, maybe 6 months, but effort, maybe another 10 hours. I would just renegotiate the contracts that I have, the leases. A lot of people, let's put case in point, and I'll make it real quick on this one. I got a rooming house in San Jose, downtown, that I bring in, I don't know, $7,000-8,000 a month. It's a 10-bedroom house, and I get $700 to $800 a room, right? Mm-hmm. I had somebody come up to me and say, Joel, that rooming house you have a license for that rooming house. Do you know how golden that is? I'm like, yeah. I said, yeah, it's grandfathered in. Nobody can touch it. He goes, I will give you $20,000 a month for that place. And I'm like, how are you going to be able to do that? He goes, well, you know, I deal with health and mental health.
Yeah.
And mental health pays $3,700 a person. And I said, well, okay, $3,700 a person at 10 bedrooms, that's 37,000. And you're going to give me 20 of it? He goes, oh no, that's per person. I didn't say I couldn't put 2 or 3 people in a room. And I'm like, damn. Then I'm like going, wait, 2 to a room, 10, 30, that's 7,400 at 2 people a room times 10, 74 grand a month. He's like, yeah, I could do that right now. But I've had people there that have been renting from me for 20 years in a room. This is their last stop, man. And again, so it's not about the money anymore. But if I needed to make a quick $200,000 more than I'm making now, all I got to do is give those people their 60-day notice and turn it over and give it to the guy. And I just made almost a $200,000 extra a year. I don't give a damn. It's not about the money. I just didn't want to be broke.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to be a DJ and be able to play the music I wanted to play. I'm a simple dude. You know, there's Joe Average and then there's Joel Average.
I tell people I'm a very simple guy too. And they're like, no, you're not. I'm like, no, I'm a very simple guy.
No, you're a simple guy, but you've got high goals. Again, I'm simple and my goals were just don't be broke and be able to play the music. Again, if there's one word to describe wealth, what word would you use? One word.
You know, for me, it would be health, you know, as far as like,
there's a lot of truth to that, because if you're wealthy, it's a whole lot easier to be healthy. Because again, what's the number one cause of of cancer, heart attack, strokes. It's stress.
Stress.
That's the number one cause. And what's the number one cause of stress?
Finances.
Finances.
Yeah,
That's the number one cause. What's the number one cause of divorce?
Yeah,
finances.
Yeah.
And when people go, oh, money's evil. First, money can make you happy.
Yeah. Well, so money does. So I agree. So for me, it's building the wealth and having a healthy, personally healthy lifestyle, so that I can continue to grow more wealth. Okay. And then to do the right investments, the right partnerships, the right. I mean, it's so for me, it's you can be as wealthy as you want. Hey, case in point, look what happened to Steve Jobs, wealthiest man in the world.
Killed him. Yeah. He worked too hard. Yeah. I get it. To me, that's why I said I'm not as ambitious as some of the wealthy folks out there. But one word for me. Yeah. Freedom. Freedom. Yes. The bottom line is the position I'm in right now with my, my mailbox money hitting passive income to the tune of $35,000, $40,000 a month. If I go to Thailand, I go there for a month. I just go. Why? Because my money's still coming in. I go over there and I'm not spending over $1,000 a day while I'm there. And then, like I want to go to the track meet. Might go to Monaco and go watch one of the pre-qualifiers for the Olympics. I'll buy a Tesla. I'm free, and no one can tell me now what to do to a certain degree.
Amen.
It's
Amen.
And then, again, wealth is freedom to me.
There's a lot of. It's got to be deeper for you, and I don't want to.
It's not. I'm not, dude. I'm not a deep guy. People say that all the time. Folks, I'm telling you, I'm not that deep. All I wanted to do is not be broke, and I just want to do what I want to do without anybody saying you can't do it.
So let me ask you something, and we're gonna, with all this wealth and all this knowledge, how do you get involved, or what do you do for community and make an impact and giving back? Because it can't.
This right here.
Okay.
This right here. This education, what we've talked about right now, is not being talked about. This is invaluable. And more so when I say talked about, is it talked about? Yeah, there's so many wealth books out there. Yeah. But broken down to the fries guy, right? That simple terms, because they go, oh, well, you need to invest in crypto and look at this and talk to your Morgan Stanley. And if you talk to Franklin Financial and dude, it doesn't have to be that crazy. Yeah. It doesn't, if you want it to be that way, if that's your passion, if you're into, absolutely. I'm not telling you how to spend, how to invest your money. I'm only telling you to invest, because the problem is we're not even investing.
So how about for those that, let's say, for example, a cause out there. I mean, for those that are just, like an effort, I want to, how do you get back to those that cannot and will not reach the point of where, let's say, the person that can't pick up the book and read, the person that's illiterate, or the person that.
That's why there's an audio version.
Okay.
That's right. We got the audio book. We got the book.
Do you really have the audio version of this?
Yeah, that's on Amazon. Yeah.
Okay.
So you can buy the physical book.
Yes.
From me.
Fuck. Hey,
but you can do the audio book.
I'll have that book done in 3 sessions. Then
Kindle. The Kindle version is also available on Amazon. But no. And here's where I could be flawed. And I hear this even people very close to me get in my ass about it. And I know I'm not going to change. It's like, Joel, you got all this money and you don't share it. You don't give it back to the community. And I said, you know what? You're right. I said, first of all, I just don't want to be broke. And if I don't want to give, again, and we talk about this in the book, and I said that, and we didn't get that close in the book, but I go through, there's 1 through 10 different steps and personality traits that define who we are. And a 10 is someone that looks at which is not even possible. We have moments, right? We can jump around and you can make a 10 decision. And I talk about my 10 decision in the book, which ended in divorce, by the way, that's in the book, and then there's 5 decisions and 3 decisions. Right? There's numbers of these decisions, but a 10 bases everything on an asset or liability. You either make me money or do something for me that's positive, or I cut you. And probably the best example, and I mentioned this in the book, is the movie All the Money in the World, I think it was called, where the Richard
yeah.
J. Paul
Yeah,
Getty
yeah.
and his grandkid get kidnapped, and they go, here's a billionaire, the first billionaire. It's either Howard Hughes or Getty. You can argue who was the first billionaire ever. And kids get kidnapped and whatever. They want something like $6 million. And to a billionaire, that's nothing, right? And they go, well, how much are you willing to pay? And he says, nothing. And you go, damn, how cold can you be? This is your grandson.
Right.
But again, we're only talking about money, right? We're talking about the mindset of money. We're not talking about whether it's good or bad, because that's another thing. I'm not saying a wealthy mindset is better than a poor mindset.
Right here, really quick. I'm just hit by.
Okay.
So you got me there, man. You just saved me some valuable time.
Right. Beautiful.
Thank you. Right there. Success. Boom, guys. I bought it. I'm done.
There you go.
You got me, man. You got me for I don't know how much, man. Hey, you cannot put a price on the knowledge. I mean, I started reading it, and I was just like, fuck, I gotta find more time. And now, while I'm driving or I'm working out, I'm gonna be listening. Do you read it? Is it your voice?
No.
Okay.
No.
Oh, well,
here I am, a DJ, right, man? Because again, Mauricio, I don't think you get it, man. I'm not that. I'm lazy, man.
No, I get it.
You know, I don't work that hard, and I ain't trying to work that hard. Yeah. And again, if a no working, 2.2 GPA graduating from college only because he got kicked, a DJ degree, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, and I don't mind sharing that. I'm not that ambitious. I just understand how money works. And I understood the relationship I needed. And only doing that, being the guy on fries with a little bit more, because the guy on fries made $3.8 million at the age 65. Yeah. Well, if you've got a little bit more sense or a little bit more whatever is than the guy on fries, well, there's no reason why you can't be in the 10, 20 million range. There's no reason. And I'm living proof, because I didn't do anything other than just understand and go, okay, I got to be disciplined and take whatever DJ money that these guys are willing to pay me, and they're paying me less than all the other damn DJs. I still got to take this little wedge and move it over here and invest it. And that money just kept doubling up, right? Yeah. And you don't touch it, because even like when you do stock, what happens to a lot of people, they're going, well, I play, do the stock market, and I'm not doing fries. And how come I'm not making 3.8? Because the difference is, once you sold the stock, you then got taxed on it, right? Yeah. Remember, half of it is as wealthy mindset, you pay attention to tax laws. You've got to put stuff in money that keeps rolling over, that you're not getting taxed on it until you pull the money. But when you start making money on the money, that's the compound piece. That's how you get to the 3.8.
Yeah.
Versus, so again, I talk about that stuff in the book, but again, and it's so simple. And once you realize, you go, oh, that's right. A penny doubled, 2 cents, 4 cents. Yeah, it's not much. After 2 weeks, it's only like $2 and $3. It's like, but once you start getting in that 28, 29, it's like, oh, 2 million's doubled is, 4 million. Yeah. And just like the 3.8, if the guy doesn't take it at 65, he's going to make $400,000, 10% of 3.8 to 380, just rounding it up. He's going to make $4,000. If he doesn't take the 400,000 and lets that roll, he's now making 10% on the 3.8 and the 400. And then and it just starts getting crazy. And you just start making millions and millions of dollars. And all you did was take your little hand and flip the frickin' fries over. That's all you did.
Is it fair to say, all right, because when I listen to you and I listen to the way you break things down, is it fair to say that the upbringings, the system, the school, the educational has I brainwash is the first word that comes to me, or has programmed us.
That's right.
Poorly programmed us, because we hear the terminologies work hard, and we interpret work hard as, like, I could be running in place.
More hours. Work hard means work more hours.
I'm running in place, but I'm not moving forward. I'm just productivity. Does the what's the saying? Being busy doesn't mean being productive. You
That's
know,
right.
like, so.
Well, you've heard work harder or work smarter.
Right. So I like to say, hey, I don't work hard, I work smarter. But I'm thinking that when I'm working hard with my mind. I'm looking at things, I'm breaking things down, I'm trying to find ways. And yes, I mean, so it's words are powerful, you know. So I make sure that I watch what I say, because again, I can fall into my own rabbit hole or my own trappings that are out there, because you know, part of the reason, and I can super appreciate what you're saying when you talk about what you give and why you did this, because this show was created for us, for entrepreneurs, for people that can kick down the knowledge so that we can go from A to Z in a very much quicker amount of time, because all the pitfalls have already been done. So we're educating people. So tonight, you have taught me a lot. Believe it or not, in an hour and 45 minutes, Joel, we have never had the opportunity to
no, we haven't. You know.
This deep of a conversation. And, and
absolutely.
Again, I appreciate what you've done, because in what you've done is inside of my mind, you clicked on a couple of switches that might have been turned off throughout the years.
I guarantee after you read the book, you're going to have at least 10 aha moments, at least 10, and go,
absolutely.
I hadn't thought about it. And again, it's again, because you're so far advanced compared to the people that are reading the book and me. I don't mind saying that. I it's very simple. And then you look at it and go, damn, I took 10 steps when he only took one, because he just understood it and said, look, it's like, boom. And now to your point, if you're trying to go from, and here's the disparity. Now we'll get, probably wrap this up. I don't want to bore everybody to death, but here's the disparity.
Man, we got people that watch you, man.
Here's the disparity that we have. Here's the disparity that we have in this world, right? We've got poor, broke, whatever. The 1%, if you have $12 million in net worth, right? If you sell everything you got, sell your record collection, sell your houses, sell your watch, sell your damn whatever, if you've got $12 million after you sold everything left in cash, that is what your net worth is. So some people just don't understand what net worth means. It's all your assets minus all the liabilities, everything you owe. So just because I live in $1 million house, right? Everybody, and again, in Silicon Valley, we all live in $1 million house, basically, but if you owe $700,000 on it, your net worth is $300,000.
That's right.
So,
that's right.
So the 1% is 12 million or more. And I'm glad to say, or proud or whatever, I don't really give a damn, that I fall in that category barely.
Awesome.
Okay. Yeah. So that's the 1%. But here's how I look at it, because this is my simpleton perspective. A billionaire, the Oprah or whatever you want to name your billionaire, 1 penny on their dollar, their 1% is $10 million. Yeah. So to Oprah, if you got Oprah money, what's the difference between having a penny, which Joel has, because a penny on their dollar is Joel, and Shmuel that only has $10 in their pocket? She goes, well, Joel has a penny and Shmuel has less than a penny. They're both broke.
Yeah.
So the disparity in the world right now, that even if you're in the 1%, we now have the 1% of the 1%.
1%. Yes.
Now, here's where it gets really effed up. Jeff Bezos, Gates, Warren Buffett are in the $100 million club. They're in the 1% of the 1% of the 1%. We have never in the history of this world had a 1% of the 1% of the 1% ever.
Yeah.
To them, a penny on the dollar is Oprah.
Oprah money. Yep. I've heard. Yeah.
It's Oprah.
Yeah.
Wait, Michael Jordan, a billionaire? Wait, all these billionaires? Again, we're not going to be political. Donald Trump, a billionaire? They are broke compared to these three people.
Why you got to crush my billionaire ambition, bro?
No. I'm just saying that's the crazy disparity that we have in this world.
I agree.
And I'm happy just being broke. Right. Because in the eyes of a billionaire, I am broke. So when people tell me how rich I am, and I once I break it down like that, they're like, damn, Joel, you broke like me. I said, you damn right I am. I said, the only difference is I'm free. Because again, the 21st century slave is an employee.
Yes.
And I get up in the morning, and I'll be honest with you. Here's how messed up I am, kind of. I wake up sometimes and I'm like, why am I getting out of bed? I'm not depressed. I'm not, believe you me. But sometimes I'm like going, there's no reason for me to get out of bed because money's hit. I'm going to make $1,000 where I'm sitting here talking to you right now or hanging out in Puerto Vallarta this weekend. I'm still going to make my money. And that's the beauty, because I understand how money works, and my relationship with money is like a damn good marriage, because that's really what it comes down to. It's a marriage. It's a relationship. And mine's is tight. And because my ambition, I don't do things that spend over $1,000 a day. I just don't. And again, and if I did, and I go, well, you know what? I'm going to drop 20 grand. Well, then I just go, well, for the next 19 days, I got to be cool.
Yeah.
And that's how I think in my head, because I never touch my $12 million nest egg. I never touch it. That money is untouchable. And again, I'm not a person of faith, but to break it down, that's God's money.
Yeah. And
God allowed me to have access to that bank. I don't have to go to Bank of the West. I go to this God's money. It's there. And I get to take it, grow it, right? Yes. Give God back his money.
Yes.
And then I take the proceeds and enjoy my life. And then that's what I've got to press on my daughter and teach her and say, honey, this money that I'm going to leave you, it's not your money. It's not your money. You just have the privilege to have access to that money. You do what you want with that money, grow it, do it, and you can blow all the money, the proceeds that you get. Just don't touch that 12. And guess what? You'll always be, well, maybe by then the 1% might be 14 million, but you'll always be wealthy if you don't touch your nest egg money and you just take the proceeds from the growth of that nest egg.
Wow.
And again, but that's simple.
You know what? I just had three aha moments right now while you said all of that, because that's powerful, Joel. I got to tell you, man, what you just said and shared, and I hope that it resonates with a lot of people now, later in the future, wherever it may be, what you just shared, because it's just, those are facts. Those are facts. You have to have a good relation. You have to have a great relationship with money. You cannot. Yep. I always tell people, when you come with a mindset of scarcity, you're poor. When you come with a mindset of taking healthy risk, you will create wealth, and you have to create that environment, that energy around you in order to continue to grow and to nurture your soul and the environment that you're in. So, man, hey, I gotta say thank you again. 2 weeks ago, it was meant to be, and then we're having this conversation today, and then we're sharing this kind of knowledge, because this is what people are not exposed to. They're exposed to the, all the bad things about money, but they don't understand that money will give you freedom, and so and that's really what triggered me. Another thing that triggered me is that what would be my word for freedom? Well, health would be one. But it's freedom.
Definition of wealth, one word.
It's definition of wealth for me. It's freedom. Like, I do what I do because honestly, I do have the freedom. I mean, I make myself busy because I want to stay on top of things.
Choice.
By choice.
You're wealthy when you work by choice.
I do it because there's a lot of people that depend on my operations, and I want to make sure that, hey, we're continuing to oil the machine until it gets to the point where I can step away. Right. Like I also have exit strategies on anything that I get involved in. It has to have an exit strategy, because there is no attachment. There is no any brand that I build has to have an exit strategy. And what an exit strategy means, for those that may not know, is that the sell off. I start with this and I sell at this and I move on. Because it's the systems. People want to buy the systems, the brands, and all. I'm
more simplistic than you are. I tell people, I say, first of all, nothing. I say this in the book. So this is book stuff. It's like, I don't care what you do. Again, like, you got to have a number. That's part of the plan. Then you go, okay, here's my number. If that's what it is, then how do I get to that number? And so instead of an exit strategy, I say, your plan, all plans must be written, and they must have a beginning, a middle, and an end, which is also your word saying exit strategy. But when you say exit strategy, some people are like, oh, but that sounds complicated. What's an exit strategy? If I say beginning, middle, and an end, they go, got it. Got it. Because I'm that guy, right? I'm the 100 IQ at best, 2.2 GPA. That's me. And so the one thing that you said that I want to make sure, and I should have said this earlier, is that this book for this wealthy mindset, it doesn't make, you do not have to be an entrepreneur to get this book. Anybody can create wealth. The guy on fries is not even he's not even a day shift supervisor. He's just the fries guy. But yet he's going to leave In-N-Out Burger with more money than anybody that ever worked there, all because he understands money, right? Yeah. And when I talk about the book, I said there's sevens, which are employees that take their money and grow it. They earn the principal money coming from the boss, right? Getting that check. And I said, first of all, don't worry, don't get misconstrued with the numbers. I said, Steph Curry's an employee. Bottom line is the man makes $40 million a year. He makes more money than I'm wealthy, and I'm an 8 or a 9. But the bottom line is, if you're a 7, you're an employee. But I'd rather be Steph Curry than Joel Wyrick. Let's be real. If I could get paid $40 million to drop threes like that, I'd be a happy camper. I mean, again, I'm just saying that. So if you're at your job, and I don't care where, again, I don't care where your source of income comes from, whether you're an employee, whether you're a business owner, whether you're, entrepreneur, whether you're an investor, those are that's your source of income. It's what you do with the money.
Right.
I've got plenty of employees that now that we've talked and I've been that are multimillionaires that are still working at their job, and they made all their money working for Apple, working for Google, working for Facebook. They took that money. Maybe some of it was stock options, some of it not. They took their salary and they just moved it over and said that 10% or whatever percentage you decide to personally tithe with, take that money and invest it. And they grew their money, and then they left the job because now they're worth millions of dollars because that's what they did with it. So I want to make sure that everybody that's out there listening, if you got a job, it's like, well, damn, it sounds like I just got to quit my job and be an entrepreneur. No. You can Steph Curry makes more money than both of us right now, again, and he's an employee, but the problem with Steph Curry is if he's not taking a piece of that money and investing it, and he gets in a car accident or he turns 40 and he can no longer drop those threes at a rate of 40% or better, shooting 23 feet behind the arc, his days are numbered. Yeah. And he better have the wealthy mindset before he gives up that job.
That's right.
And then if he does that, he's golden.
Yeah.
He's golden. Michael Jordan was an employee. Yeah. He's a billionaire. Yeah, you can be an employee and be a billionaire.
That's right. Yeah. And you can be an employee even of your own company. I'm an employee.
Now in my book, I say that's an 8, and that's true. So, and again, we're getting all into the book, and I don't mind doing that. But I said there's. So with that being said, there are 4 different types of assets. Mm-hmm. Asset 1 is something that appreciates in value over time. Asset 2 is something that creates positive cash flow, revenue stream. Asset 3 is something that appreciates over time and creates cash flow actively, which means if I, and then 4, something that creates, that increases in value over time and creates passive income, passively. So real quick example. So if you, I got a Michael Jackson signed autograph platinum record, right? I've spent whatever $2,000 on it. I think it's worth $10,000 now, right? Yeah. So that's a type 1 asset. My wealth just increased $8,000 from what I paid for it. Mm-hmm. That is a type 1 asset.
Yes.
The negativity of buying stock, you buy it, you sell it, and you made money on it. That was a type 1 asset. The negative thing on a type 1 asset, it's not creating any income for you, so you still can't eat. Here I could be homeless underneath the bridge of 280. And I got my Michael Jackson. I got $10,000 in net worth, Joel. I listened to you. Yeah, but you got to understand it. Where's your money coming from to eat? Oh, so type 1. And so when you're younger, type 1 assets, easy breezy. Luke Cage, my comic book I paid 20 cents for, $400, type 1 asset, great for kids, great for people that have a job. So they have money coming in from their job, which is their eating money, right? The stuff that they have to, the money they have to spend on stuff works. So type 2 is something that creates positive, passive income or positive cash flow. Now, it does not increase in value. My coin-op wash machines that I got over at my rooming house, right? So I paid whatever, $800 for the washer and dryer. Well, guess what? What happens that's a liability, because as soon as I bought the washer and dryer and took it out of the showroom and stuck it in my house, it's now a used washer and dryer. So the $800 is now worth whatever, $600.
Yeah.
But they create, when people slapping those quarters in there, washing their clothes, I'm making $100 a month on them putting those quarters in.
Yeah.
After 8 months, that thing is that you talk about another that's probably my second best investment. Joel, what's your greatest investment? Buying that warehouse over there, buying that shopping center in Eastside San Jose? No, coin-op wash machine, because the return on my money is literally at $100 a pop. I'm doing 12% on my money monthly.
Yeah.
You can't beat that kind of return on your investment. But so it's a liability.
But it won't create generational wealth unless you own the lot of those.
Because when I die, the quarters keep going in there. Yes, it does.
Okay.
My daughter just got to have the damn keys. Dad, where do you put those damn keys? I'm going to go get that's the best damn piggy bank on the planet. Got to go to the bank and cash in $100 in quarters, which would be problematic at times. But my biceps are so much better because of this. Anyway, so a type 2 asset is something that doesn't increase in value. In fact, it's a liability because the washer and dryer is not worth as much, but it is creating cash flow, so that offsets the liability, the depreciation of the asset. Well, we can't say depreciation. It's no longer an asset. The depreciation of the liability. Right. So the third one is like a small business owner. So again, that's something that appreciates in value and creates income actively, which is something more on lines of what you probably do. So if you have a company and you're growing the company, Elon Musk is an 8, right? That's a type 3. It's my company's growing, but if Elon Musk is not behind it, if he dies tomorrow, Tesla's going to do okay, but it's going to take it. He actively has to be who he is. Steve Jobs, like you said, worked himself to death. So an entrepreneur, the negative thing about being an entrepreneur, and that's why I don't even stress now, after knowing what I know about money, I don't get all stressed out about being an entrepreneur or telling people they have to be an entrepreneur, because an entrepreneur will kill you. Yeah. Being an entrepreneur will kill you. Steve Jobs is living proof that if you work too hard to get too into your job, you will die. So you got to be careful that you do not overwork yourself and be so engaged and engulfed in your what you do that it affects you physically. But again, it's active. If I don't do this, my money doesn't come in and my company doesn't grow. And then 4 is something that, again, like real estate, is something I buy the house, it goes up in value, and it's creating passive income. So my net worth is going up because my properties keep going up. I've become more and more of a bigger millionaire, but I also got $400,000 or $500,000 a year coming in on passive income. And that's a type 4 asset. So as we get older, we need to start moving towards type 2 assets, something that creates cash flow, and type 4 assets, something that grows and creates cash flow, and stay away from the 1 and the 3s. And that's really what it comes down to. And
that's where I'm at right now. I'm in that transition.
Yep.
I'm, again, when my mindset has been very from a young age, and it takes time, people think
I'm right there with you, man. I'm an entrepreneur. I am just trying to become, and that's an 8 in the book. It's an 8. I'm trying to become a 9 because, again, so here we go. The three billionaires: Michael Jordan, employee that took his money, created a brand, and became a billionaire being a basketball player. Because what did Chris Rock say? It's like Michael Jordan or Shaquille O'Neal's rich. Jenny Buss, who's the owner of the Lakers, is writing the check, is wealthy. That's the difference. So Michael Jordan was rich, but Jerry Krause, the owner of the Chicago Bulls, was wealthy. Why? Because when Michael Jordan left, Jerry Krause, he goes, I don't care. As long as I got basketball players out there dribbling, I'm getting paid. And I'm making my money passively because I've got and I don't want to be, but I'm being who I am. I've got my slaves out there, 21st century employees, which are slaves. I got my slaves making me my money. And again, if my slave dies, gets hurt, or breaks his leg or gets old, I just replace the slave. That's all. I gotta say, man, wow, like that's just like,
because I know you and I understand you. The reality when you look at
I'm a simpleton dude, man.
But when you hear the reality though, of even how it's even explained, is that everyone is dispensable or replaceable. Everyone is replaceable.
That's right.
Everybody. Fuck, it's just deep, man. It's deep.
Right.
And I appreciate it.
I just want to go through it. So Michael Jordan became a billionaire being an employee. Elon Musk became a billionaire being an entrepreneur. Warren Buffett, again, so Michael Jordan was a 7, Elon Musk is an 8, and a 9 is Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett goes, I don't want to dribble. I don't want to run the company. I don't want to be the CEO. All I'm going to do is give money, invest into 8s. I'm a 9 now. If I give you money, $100,000 to do whatever, I'm still going to be sitting at home watching TV, and you're going to go out there busting your ass, making money for me and all your other investors. You're the 8, I'm the 9. And then again, you might have an employee that's working for you you're a high paid employee that's taking their money, investing in it. And we all become rich or wealthy or billionaires or millionaires. And we're all different personality sets. So the beautiful thing about the book is,
an 8, man. I like being.
I loved being an 8.
I love being an 8, man. I love working and creating wealth.
The difference is I got 15 years on you. At your age, I loved being an 8.
Yes.
I'm now going, you know what? What I really love now is investing in 8s.
Yes.
That's right.
I'm a good 8. We're gonna have a meeting after this.
And again, and so here's the beauty of it is that Warren Buffett and again Warren Buffett. When you think, if you want to break it down the street, right? There's hoes, right? And there's well, I won't say bottom B's, right? Who control the hose, right? So the 7s are hoes. Yeah. Then there's the supervisor, which are the 8s managing it, right? And then the pimp.
You're the pimp.
Is the one that just basically watches everything happen, and it's all y'all make me more money. Warren Buffett is a pimp.
Yeah.
In plain English, he's a pimp. He doesn't. He goes, what's Warren Buffett do? He looks at an 8 and goes, that 8 is going to make me a lot of money. I'm going to I'm going to give $100 million to Coca-Cola. I love that CEO. Elon Musk, I'm giving you $200 million. And he just goes around and he just gives money to people that make him money while he does nothing. It's all passive. That's a 9. And I'm trying to strive to be a 9 because I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. Well, and then of course, as I said, 10 is J. Paul Getty. No one wants to be a 10. Like you don't want to be a 1. You don't want to be a 10 because
tycoon, man.
No, a 10 is simple. It's either you either are an asset to me or a liability. Everything is an asset or a liability, and he makes all his decisions. So when his kid got kidnapped, and they said $6 million, here's a billionaire. That's your own flesh and blood, and you say, nah, you can keep him. Because why? He goes, you know what? He thought about it. He goes, that kid is a liability. Every freaking time he comes over to my house, he knocks over a damn $20,000 lamp. He breaks that. He's always asking me for food. He's doing this. He's a terror. You can keep that kid because he doesn't make me any money or he doesn't do me any good. Wow. And that's a 10. And again, so we have 10 moments where you and I make a moment and go, and like J. Paul Getty had a 10 moment. Does he really feel that way? God, I hope not. But at that time, he was not going to pay the ransom because he goes, that kid cost me money. He breaks shit around here all the damn time. He eats up all my food. He's a liability. He actually cost money. Now, if you want to, you want me to pay a ransom, kidnap my accountant. Kidnap my CEO running this company over here because that's value. Because without him, at the least, I got to train another CEO or I got to trade an accountant to be able to do my books, blah, 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 blah. So then he puts a price on it. He goes, well, if you kidnap my CPA, the amount it's going to cost to train somebody and the trust that I get, well, that's probably worth $1.8 million. I will pay you $1.8 million because anything under that, I'm saving money. Anything over that, I'm losing money. Wow. That's how a 10 thinks.
Yeah.
And so I break down the book just like that, and then you get
so black and white too.
Very black and white. That's to say, nobody wants to be a 10, but sometimes we will make black and white, and I do that I do that. We all have 10 moments. We all have one moments where we go, why are you spending $10 on a double latte at Starbucks when you could get the beans and take the same Starbucks beans and make it at your house for 1/5 the price? Convenience. That's a 10 moment, because there's nothing really good out of that when you think about it. You're losing money, but it's okay. As long as we have the conversation, we again, the book is about process. Okay. Is this a wealthy choice? No. Can we make it a wealthy choice? Yeah, or no, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm okay with that. Just as long as you had that conversation with yourself, then we're good. And that's really what it comes down to.
Damn. Another
drop. Oh, wait a minute.
Hey, seriously, man, another aha moment. You're right. I've had many aha moments, and
you're going to have more in the book, guaranteed. And everybody will. We didn't talk about the book that much, although everything that we talk about is in the book, and it's dude.
But we don't want to.
I've got. If you put a dime and a quarter on top of each other, it might be thicker than this book. It's not a tough read.
Hey, I gotta say, make sure to pick up a book, Developing a Wealthy Mindset. I just bought it literally while we're on the interview. I got it on the audio because I want to start it immediately, so that I want to hear it. I'm an audio guy. I can read it, but I'm an audio guy because I'm always on the go. I'm an 8. I'm on the go, and when I have that moment to myself, it's really, I'm multitasking. I'm on the treadmill and I'm listening to something. So for an hour. In 5 days, that's 5 hours. Believe me, I'm not listening to music.
I think it's only a 3 hour. I think it's only a 3 hour read, a 3 hour audio book.
My point being is that I'm even on the treadmill. I'm doing something that's building my mind and fortifying who I am, because the minute I take off my headset and I face the world, reality comes at you, and reality could be good. And being in the business, your next problem is always around the corner, no matter what. We're gonna have good days and we're gonna have bad days. So, absolutely. Point being, make sure to pick up this your copy. It's on Amazon. Make sure also to pick up your copy of Smoke and Mirrors. Joe, I haven't given you a copy yet, have I?
What do you think?
What do
you think? Did I give you a copy of my book? I gave you a copy during your book.
You mailed it, and it was during COVID, so I got it. And then
my column, wealthy, the poor, broke, and unwealthy. Yes. An excuse. I can't, followed by an excuse. Okay. So when we talk about moments, that was a one moment right there. Yes. That was a one moment.
And I don't want to be a one.
You act like COVID didn't affect you. I sent you the book. You go, well, you sent me the book during COVID. Wait a minute.
No.
That means I was experiencing COVID the same time you were. I sent you the book. I didn't get a book from you in return, because that's what we were trying to do here.
Right.
So that was a one moment. I just wanted to point that out to you.
I completely take responsibility. So I got your copies right here. I got both copies right here. I'll make sure to hand deliver these to you, because I will be seeing you very soon. I want to sit down and talk to you about opportunities, because again, I'm in the 8 category, and I have a lot of things that are coming at me.
Sure.
Things that I know that would fit in the wheelhouse of the things that you're doing, because and the things that I enjoy, and especially when I enjoy doing things, that I'm passionate, and I'm always looking at from all angles, dotting my I's and crossing my T's. So
excellent.
That with that said, we're gonna follow up and do a in-person meeting now that the world is open. Now that California is open. Let me ask you, what would be your advice to an entrepreneur, aside from going and picking up your book and reading? Mm-hmm. What would be something that can turn on those on switches that sometimes they're in us, but they're just, those switches are off, or they haven't.
Give me a little bit. I'm kind of lost. I'm not sure what you're asking.
So what would be the trigger for you? It was, you don't want to be broke, right? That was your trigger. For me, I didn't want to.
So it comes down again. It comes in the book. It comes down to the plan. What are your goals and objectives? Period in life. And then once you've established this is what I want to do, or this is where I want to be, then we get to back into the steps that are needed to get to where you need to go. Period. It's that simple, right? And then once you do that, it just becomes super easy. It's like, well, okay, here's our goal. Oh, if we do this, this, and this, we can get that goal. That's plan A. If this happens, this is B. And then all of a sudden it just makes sense. Yeah. I know it's so crazy, and I said I'm such a simpleton, but folks, the bottom line is I'm a simpleton, and it's that simple.
It's that
We
simple.
make things so complex. Why are we going to school, 12 years from a high school, another 4 years, it's 16 years of education. And what you and I talked about right now is more valuable than all 16 years at the college, because all they taught you was how to be a better slave, how to be a more productive slave. And I'm happy too, because we're eights. We're always looking for people to work for us. Yeah, go ahead and waste 16 years. No, I shouldn't say waste. Do your 16 years. And then guess what? Then you're coming to work for us. And I'm glad that you went and spent all that extra money that I didn't have to pay you to teach you how to do your job. You're now coming in here and you just raised my productivity 10%. Because you went out and spent money to make me more money.
Because you got to go pay your debt. Wow.
And you're making us more money. Thank you.
Joel, I got to say, this is one of the best interviews that I've had in the 30 plus episodes.
Wow, well, I'm honored. Now I'm humbled. Now you're gonna make me blush.
no, man. I gotta say, I gotta.
And of course, got to remember, folks, I had to talk him to get on.
No, you didn't have to talk me into it.
No, dude, no. Let's be real here. I was an afterthought. I had to go.
Hey, going
and it still wasn't working.
To the club days, it's like the DJ that comes to you to the club and says, "Man, let me come rock your club. Let me come rock your club." And you're like, no. And then the kid goes and rocks the club next door and takes all your crowd. And you're like, "Hey, who's the kid over there?" And you're like, "Oh, it's Joel." I'm like, "What? It's fucking Joel? Are you kidding me?" Joel.
No, you are absolutely. That is the story of my life. You are absolutely right. Because when you live in the same city your whole life, right? And this is what happened with my buddies. And we'll wrap this up. This is what happened with my buddies, because I was born and raised here, because I wasn't the smartest kid in the class, because I wasn't the most whatever athletic or the best. Again, I was just in the middle, just that guy that was there. He wasn't a nerd. He wasn't a hipster. He was just in the middle. And then all of a sudden, because I understood money, I would talk to my buddies. Hey man, let's do this. Joel, man, you flunked out of the business school. I'm working for Applied Materials. I'm working for Google. I'm working for Intel. I'm making $200,000 a year. And you're freaking DJing on a Wednesday night during male stripper night. What are you pulling in? I'm like, I'm making 30 grand. Why are you trying to tell me, come approach me on money advice when I said, and they were right to your point. Then what happened about 5 or 6 years ago, it seemed like it was this universal net cast out.
I remember that year too.
No, what happened 5 or 6 years? Then all of a sudden people started, I don't know. It was like they all got the disease at the same time. They went, I'm like, hello? Yeah. What? Joel, wait a minute. Why am I still working at my job? You're 50, I retired at 53. What I just said, done. And like, why am and I'm making my $300,000 a year. Why? Wait, how are you not working? You never made even close the money I made. And I said, because man, I was growing money while you were blowing and showing. And it still didn't resonate. And then, and because my show, to your point, my house is just, it needs work, blah, 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 my girlfriend looks at my house and she rolls her eyes every time she walks in here, because she's going, Joel, how do you live like this? Look, you see my house? And I'm like, yeah. I said, but that's who I grow money. I don't need to show it. This is good enough. If the stove works, that's all I need. I don't need it to be some Wolf $4,000 stove. I just need the gas to cut on, and my eggs are going to taste the same. That's just me, right? So as I'm talking to these guys, and then they're going, wait a minute, Joel, wait, so where's your money? And I said, well, dude, that I had waves. Yeah. Well, I still own the building. You still own it? I say, yeah. And they go, what now? And they go, and you remember I bought my first house when I was 19. It's now a Latino fraternity house, and I don't know the name of it. Here I am, the landlord, and I don't even know and they've been my tenants for like 15 years. I don't even remember the Latino fraternity name, but anyway. And they go, Joel, you still own that house that you bought when you were 19? I was like, yeah. And they go, wait, and you said you own that shopping center down there, and on West San Carlos, you own that building. You said something about that has apartments above it, and you've got retail. Yeah. what? And as I'm spewing off, and I got over 10. I don't even know how many properties I have. It's 10, 15, but anyway, it doesn't make a difference. But as they saw it, they were like, okay. I you know what? I'm now listening. What can I do to get to where you're at? That did not happen until about 5-6 years ago. All these years, my buddy's going, Joel, I looked at you and I looked at you as well, I'm going to throw Joel some work. He can DJ my eighth grade, my daughter's eighth grade party. And that's what I was doing, and they're like going, I never thought I'd have to come to you for financial advice. You talked about it, but I didn't see it. I didn't see you weren't showing it to me, and then the fancy car or the big house or whatever. Yeah. You're accumulating properties that you don't live in. And I say, well, dude, if I'm living in the property, it's a liability. If I'm not living in it, it's creating and it's bringing in rent, it's an asset. I understand the difference between assets and liability. So all that went down, and now people come to me for the first time. Joel, got $100,000. What can I get in on your next move? I got $50,000. Can I get in on your next move? That never happened, Mauricio. It only started happening about 5 years ago. And now my phone rings a lot. Now I have the respect and the credibility of being a successful investor. And that never happened before. Never.
So
when I was trying to get those guys to do this 30 years ago, all my frat, well, not inter-frat, but lived in a house together. All my college buddies and high school buddies and elementary school buddies, because remember, I'm born and raised in San Jose. So a lot of my friends we go back 60 years. I've known since kindergarten. Lots of friends that I still talk to. And now they're finally going, damn, Joel. But Joel, you weren't that sharp. I always made more. And I go, I get it, man. You don't have to apologize. I get it. I wouldn't have given me any money. If Joel would have come up to me, I would have said, no, Joel, I know you. I ain't giving you any money. You're trustworthy. You have integrity, but I'm 10 times smarter than you. I make more money than you. I don't see where you're making your money. And all I see is you getting behind a couple of turntables and DJing. And why would I give you any money?
Oh, yeah. Well, again, different mindsets, different perceptions, different.
Well, they didn't understand. It doesn't make a difference where my money comes from. Right. It's what I do with my money.
That's right. And with that said, you're positioning yourself to get yourself to what you're calling this 9. And I can't wait till I get to that part of the book so that I understand all the different levels clearly, because you clearly have made it very clear to me that I sit in this category, which I'm very now eager to learn and understand it, because eventually my goal is to become in that investor. But right now I'm so entrenched, and I love being where I'm at.
Had a passion, dude, I just ran out of passion again, because in a perfect world, up until probably 10 years ago, I still wanted to own a nightclub. Because that's where my love is. I didn't want to be the bald-headed 60-year-old man in there, but I was like, I said, man, that's just going to be embarrassing, me walking around, hanging around with a bunch of 21-year-olds, because we're always open till 2:00 in the morning. But it's the music. It ain't about the women. It ain't about the getting high. Dude, and I'm loving it. I'm freaking loving it. And that's where I want to be. And
I got one more in me, and I'll share the location with you. I have one more in me that.
Dude, I don't mind going every day. I'll go now. The difference was I just don't want to own it anymore. For the first time in my life, I don't want to own. I've always wanted to own the club, because when you own it, you're creating wealth. When you own it, you control it. When you own it, you have freedom to do whatever you want to do.
We're gonna own it, because I need to build an investment group for this one, because this one is gonna be badass. So you're in on it. Anyways, hey, we can go on for another hour.
We sure can. Yeah.
And Joel, I got to tell you, man, thank you so much again.
Thank you.
Oh man, no, you're welcome, and thank you for reaching out and saying,
beating you over the head. Hey. Right, exactly.
Hey, I'm like, hello. It's like the DJ. Hello, I play records, and I'm like, I'm looking for a DJ. Do you know of anybody? I'm like, yeah, I'm right here.
That's exactly the scenario that happened here. I'm glad you got it. I'm glad that you got that. That's exactly right. Got a damn crate, got my headphones on, got a crate in my hand, and you're going like this. Joel, get out of the way. I'm looking for a DJ. I'm looking. Joel, dude, you're in my space, Joel. Get out. I'm trying to find a freaking DJ for tonight.
Hey, Joel, you know,
and I'm short. I can't even find a DJ. I'm in panic mode. Get out of my way.
I'm looking for a guest for my show, and hey, Joel, do you have any idea who, like, well,
that's exactly what the conversation. I wish I would have recorded it. No. And I'm like, well, I don't know why, Rick. You can't figure something. Yeah, I was saying, like, I'm sitting my last name, Wyrick, and he's like, it's not even. It's like, I'm playing with him, and he's like, oh, man, yeah, because everybody's busy now that we're coming out of COVID. We don't, it's hard to get somebody to lock them in and commit. And I'm like going, man. And I'm calling you for the equipment. It's like, hey, I'm trying to do this too.
Classic, total classic, man.
Absolutely.
Anyways, we need to circle back. We need to follow up on this great conversation that we had tonight. I appreciate you sharing with my community, with the audience out there. I do this every Wednesday, 6 p.m. on the West Coast, 9 p.m. on the East. We're broadcasting on 4 different channels, and this gets viewed by people around the world. Interestingly enough, that now with COVID, just as it's lifting, I'm starting to see the trend, because we follow trends just like we've done in the entertainment world. That as people are going out now I'm at a point where I'm going to be pivoting, and that's what we talked about. It's about pivoting, about changing and the dynamics and adapting, and that's what we do as entrepreneurs. That's what I do as is in category 8. I love having to create and reinvent what we work on. So right. I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you for sharing also some of your personal life with your daughter. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing the mindset and the wealth that you've built, because it's important. We got to talk about it with the world in order for the world to see that there's people like us.
Right. Absolutely.
I don't put labels, but you're right. It's the reality. It's brown reality. And black. They label us with people of color. We're humans just like anybody else. We cut our fingers. We all bleed red. That's right. We put our pants one leg at a time, our shirt over our head. We eat. Well, I eat like this, with a fork. Some people might get creative, but what I'm saying is that we are all one. The only difference is the color of our skin and our upbringing. But everyone has the same opportunity as long as we have the mindset and the will to want to work hard in the sense that we got to, you worked hard. At one point you were giving it all.
I was in the nightclub business. Hello.
The hustle.
You're getting home at 5 o'clock in the morning. That was dude. That was the toughest time for me, is when Waves was going full board and we were a restaurant nightclub. We opened at 11 in the afternoon and 11 in the morning, however you want to look at it. And we were packed for lunch. We were the barbecue spot to go to. And then after all that and dinner, then we shut that thing down and ran a nightclub, and it had promoters in there like Velvet Shop. We're running our live reggae bands, and man, it was vicious, but it beat me up. Yeah,
I always tell people I may be young, but I got high miles on me, man, because we definitely I put the pedal to the metal. With that said, with the barbecue, let's go grab a bite. I don't know of any good barbecue place out here. I'm not a barbecue guy, and I know that you must be an expert in that. Let's go grab some lunch, and we'll definitely talk about some business opportunities. And again, I want to thank you, Joel, for being here this evening with us and sharing the wealthy mindset. And guys, make sure to go on Amazon and look up. I bought the book on audio, so it's on audiobook, which is owned by Amazon. Yep.
I can't give you your money back on the audiobook because I'd have to go, but again, as I said, I will guarantee this. Everybody out there, I'm looking you guys all in the eye. Yeah. If you say it wasn't worth it, send me the book. I will send you your money back. Yeah. Period. I so believe in this book, and everybody that I bounced this off many people before I published it. Yeah. And it's a life changer. It is it changes your relationship with money. And if you're happy with your money, then it might be just backup for just giving you, reassurance that you're doing the right thing. But if you're not happy with your financial situation, then you got to read this book, and you've got to give this to your kids. Do not hold on to this information. Read it and pass the book on to your children, because it's a life changer. And again, your kids, they all could be that guy on Fries. That all kids can be, because as you know, Mauricio, wealth, the probably the stickler about wealth, the toughest part of it is time.
Yeah.
It's hard to create wealth when you're 65, 70 years old. It can be done, but for an 18-year-old, there is no reason why any child in the United States of America cannot be a multimillionaire by the age of 65. It's not, and again, and you don't even have to leave Fries. You don't even have, so we've shown that, we proved that. If I don't know what kind of feedback you get on this thing, I have no problem coming back and if somebody says, hey, bring the guy back on, I got 1,000 questions. Can you answer these? Or if there's a way that we can do interactive stuff, I'm just throwing that out there. I don't care one way or the other. But
people are dropping comments. People know that they can also reach out to me on a guest.
Yep, there you go.
What I do is I reply back, and then hey,
perfect. If we got to go back and get deeper into certain specifics about wealth or the mindset or things that's going on in your life, I have no problem coming back, and we can then focus on some of the things based on what your viewers came up with.
Perfect, man. I appreciate that.
Man.
Well,
thank you.
Joel, thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll follow up with you, man. Thank you again.
Cool.
All right, buddy. Have a good night.
Good night.
Wow, what an amazing interview. We broke records tonight. 2.5 hours with our special guest, Joel Wyrick. Make sure to pick up his book, Developing a Wealthy Mindset. Not only wealthy, but a healthy mindset. And if you're into reading books, make sure to pick up Decide, Commit, Execute, which is my quick entrepreneurship book. And last but not least, Smoky Mirrors. Talk about a story of nightlife. Joel and I talked about being in the nightlife industry. This has a glimpse of what it was 25 years in the entertainment industry, and I'm still dibbling and dabbling, but I'm focused on bigger things. Anyhow, I want to say thank you to everyone that watched the show tonight. We had some guests. Marie Norris, thank you for watching. Freddie Morales, Suki in the house. Jennifer Celaya, thank you so much for watching. Ruben Holmes, thank you for visiting, dropping a comment. We had Chandra Brooks. Hey, thank you so much. Thank you for showing up to my birthday party on Friday. I appreciate you. I appreciate you as a human being. You're a great leader, and you're doing some great things for the community and for the women and all your leaders. So I thank you very much. My boy Ruben Guerrero, we got to spend the day together. You got to see business at a very high level today. So again, I want to thank everyone that tuned in tonight. Mauricio Mejia live every Wednesday. Next week, I got an amazing guest coming on, a global entrepreneur. We're talking some serious worldwide entrepreneurship. Talk about a mindset on a whole different level. Ricky Cucalon is going to be visiting and being on the show next week. So don't forget to tune in next Wednesday, 6 p.m. on the West Coast, 9 p.m. on the East. Make sure to look me up on my Instagram, Mauricio Mejia. YouTube is Mauricio Mejia Live. On Facebook, I'll make it even easier for you. Just Google Mauricio Mejia San Jose, and I will pop up. The good, the bad, and the ugly, but mostly all the good things will be up there. Make sure to tune in every Wednesday, Mauricio Mejia Live, here, straight from Silicon Valley. So once again, thank you so much, and have a good night.